day 3.
Oh, me too. It would be so nice to see and give everybody, I think, some really great storylines to look forward to coming into the finals as well, right? Because obviously they are going to qualify. We will be seeing them directly go directly to the finals. So I think it's going to be really cool, and it just goes to show you the strength that can come from controlling the zone, farming points around the edge, just making sure teams can't play their own game. It's such a fun way to play, and it gets those results as well.
There you go. Well, you know what? I do agree. I think that they have pretty much locked their position, right, going all the way into the grand finals. But we still got a lot of slots that are still available. So now I want to shift our focus to that lower side of the leaderboards, right? Because we need to see some crazy performances like we saw yesterday from Kara, right? One team in particular, right? We heard from Rebel right there. Alpha 7 did not have the performance they were looking for day 1 and day 2 match, right? So what do you think they need to adjust here, especially going into Rondo, where they could have another big hot drop with R8?
I forgot about the Rondo hot drop. You're right. That was such an issue. I was going to go on straight to the angles at Miramar, but actually Rondo is a big issue. And they've never been able to do really great in terms of eliminations, because I think day 1 they got, what, 2nd place with 3 elims? But Rondo, Hodges, it's all about the eliminations. You don't have the recall system. You need to capitalize. You need to catch up. And they have 76 points generally here, Hodges. If they get good Rondo right out of the gates, chances are they could already secure their top 7 slot. But Alpha 7, on Rondo, it's been a tough one.
Yeah, you know what? They actually ended up beating R8 out on the 2nd day, right? For the early one, Neptura, right? The question is, right, with how many eliminations they need to do, I mean, I think they have to take that risk, right? Once again, what do you think?
Oh, absolutely. You especially going into Rondo, you can't be passive on a Rondo. You got to take that hot drop if it's coming your way. You need to get as many points as possible. You need to build that momentum. Rondo 100% is the map to do that, and it sets the tone for the rest of the map, the rest of the games, rather. So it really is so important, I think, for them to take this hot drop.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at also teams still in top 7 that I've been falling. Virtus Pro. Stellar first day. Chickened in on the first match on Rondo, right? Getting himself 11 eliminations. And ever since then, Hot Shoots, to be honest, they disappeared. We have not seen any strong presence from Virtus Pro, despite them dominating back in the CSA region, one of the toughest regions to perform into when it comes to regional PMSLs. So Virtus Pro, if they keep slipping, they just might not even be in top 7 after this next Rondo game. So Virtus Pro, I need to see more presence, because as of right now, nothing of value happened for them on this 2nd day.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, man, we got DRX right there, only 3 points away from 7th place. We know they're going to perform here at Neptura, right? Who else on the leaderboard do you want to see get a chicken dinner right here in Rondo?
I think Regnum have a great chance of doing that. Orangutan as well. Both of those teams definitely need to have a really good first game, and I think Rondo's going to be the perfect one for them.
Well, you know what? You said those 2 names, and I got to agree with you. I got to go with the Wolves. It's time they step up. They had a rough day number 2. Can they clutch it up here in the final day? That is what I hope to see, Max, man. Who do you think can get this last chicken dinner?
I mean, first.
First one.
Like, wait,
that's right.
The day went by already? Wait, I missed everything. No. I still want to say Ulf, but you know what? I'm going to give up on Ulf. I'm sorry. For me, they had time to adapt and bring up their top-tier gameplay that we know they can do, but they're just hyper-passive. A win is just not in the cards for me when it comes to Ulf. I'm going to go on the bottom teams that are going to get a bit desperate. I'm going to go E-Arena. I mean, they have Mormon, a very experienced player here. They're currently in 14th position, 45 points. Definitely can reach top 7 if they have a good game. Again, I know I said Rondo a lot here, that it's very important, but it really is in terms of how many potential limbs you can get in a good game. I want E-Arena Hot Jukes here. For me, this is the team that, again, for SCA might have one of the highest chances alongside D Xavier to represent the region in the finals. We need to see more from the squad.
Okay, all right. I think E-Arena definitely need to pop off, right? Them, pretty much, you know, Alpha Gaming, Ulf. I think if they want to make it into that top 7, yeah, it's chicken dinner time right here, right now, Neptura. So since we got a little bit of extra time, right, to talk about some stuff before we get into the first match, I kind of want to talk about something that we were talking about in the pre-show, right, before this whole thing started. That was when it comes to Rondo strategies, okay? We've noticed, right, a lot of teams are doing this 3-1 split, right? They're sending 3 players out to engage on another team and sending 1 to a recall tower. to kind of hold that position just in case that team fails that push, okay? What do you think about some of the squads in this time trying to take advantage of that and pushing as a four-man?
I mean, normally I'm like, okay, cool. Maybe that's an interesting strat. You take them by surprise a little bit. I think it would only work if they're not expecting a hot drop. But usually if you're doing the 3-1 split, you are expecting a hot drop. I don't know how much I like it when it's the last day, when so much is riding on you guys doing well. I think maybe for Rondo, where there's so much potential to zone for the rest of the day, I think that might be a little bit too risky for my taste.
What do you think, Max?
I'm thinking we're going to see something very particular coming out here, which is because you have Rondo recall, I think you're going to see teams hot dropping heavily here. This is my speculation. I'm looking at APG in particular, right? They're Yulin, normally they drop as a four-man. And no, Orangutan would not be a good idea, but I'm looking at teams that are currently comfortable at the top. You send 3 players and you just try and ruin it for them, and if you're lucky, you win that 3v4. Otherwise, you get maybe a few points, they get a few points, even Steven, nothing really comes out of it, and you don't take a major risk by fighting and hot dropping in a 3-1 on a full squad. So I would like to see APG get targeted, and I say that like I'm not saying in a way I don't want APG to qualify. I would like to see them in the finals, but they are a threat. We know that. This is one of the best teams out there, usually. Not right now, but usually they are. If you want to try and get rid of them early and force them in the group stage and last chance, that we know as a fact Nitro is going to be way harder to qualify through for the finals.
Yeah.
Maybe this is your time to wound APG early on in day 3.
Yeah, it might be. I mean, that could be a strategy for sure, especially if, you know, you are a team that has a similar playstyle to APG. Maybe your rotations cross the same sort of paths. You know, you fear them in a way of just kind of ruining your gameplay day in, day out. Maybe your wrangle strategy is very similar, something like that. I could see that being probably a good thing to do, just in case, right? Just in case you do go to finals and they are there, or you go to the next stage and they're also there, and it's like, oh, okay, hang on, we're now going home because of them.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and get this first match going, guys. It's the final day of the Gauntlet. We're heading into Rondo. Hot drop action is going to be at the absolute maximum. Let's go ahead and take it on over to John Allen and Blake to get us started here.
We're going into Rondo once more for another round here. Match 13, kicking off the final day of the Gauntlet. It is, as Hot Duke said, going to be messy. That's what we're expecting here. The hot drops have not been favorable for quite a few teams, but we've seen some big earners. Maybe it's time to make your move on the tables here and now, Blank. Maybe you can bid for freedom towards the finals directly.
I think hot dropping over towards APG, personally, I don't think it's the greatest idea. I think they're a team with nothing to lose right now and everything to gain. So I think dropping on that team is a little bit risky. I think if you are secured, though, like Max says, like Thunder Talk, they could easily drop over towards APG and try and take out some of their players. And from there, you suddenly get a big lead. But again, this is the thing I was concerned about. Is I don't think APG is going to be dropping together at all. We're going to be dropping spread across the map, which they already are. One player heading down towards the south side. You got a couple players over towards Meiran, around 2 of the players from Thunder Talk. This is what Thunder Talk did yesterday as well, for a 2-2 split. It didn't quite work out for them there because the circle didn't head up this way, but it does give them a ton of pressure on this side of the map. But already things are cracking on here in day 3 as we get our first knock of the tournament.
Thunder Talk do have that hot drop. That is interesting, especially around that test track as well. We've got, looks like 3 or 4 teams maybe trying to find some points. I'm looking at the off angles as well coming on through. E-Arena, who are in this fight, actually have Mormon down all the way south by Tinlong Garden. Really very far away. That's about 4 kilometers away from this one, maybe 3. I haven't quite got my ruler out just yet. That's unfortunate on the elimination feed there, over towards that main round fight. But there's so much popping off right now. Let's tune in with Coops on Wolves, who is one of these teams around the test track area, around that Neox factory. We've got that northwest point for Regnum Kai as well. You can see Zedleaf on that mini-map. So potential for 3 teams to get stuck in here.
I do enjoy that Singh got so scared of APG that he panicked and ran himself over. You don't see that every day. Still shows that APG's got somewhat of a commanding presence. Eagles attempts to move up, takes a heavy lick of damage though, and at this early stage of the game, not like to get too healed up too quickly. 10k though very low, similarly does not have any meds on the board, but quite a lot of nades here coming through for the Wolves at only 2 minutes into the match. E-Arena, I think that there was a lot of talk about how this team is incredibly strong, very frightening team to go up against over in SCA, but here in the Gauntlet, they just really have not been displaying all that much for us. And that's the big lineup for the Wolves. 10k cannot find the initial shot.
But NC2can on the cross, playing off his teammate. Tourniquet goes down low on the flip side as Baton able to connect. Another spray forces him out wide, and now Regnum Kaya are going to have that third-party angle, but they're not even going to need to because Doran's there with the M249. That is 2 players down, but they've got those recalls down on the south side, so Arena will ride again. In the meantime, Orangutan have got Kara and R8 on their doorstep. Blank, it looks like Orangutan have managed to find an elimination so far, and they get the res onto AKOP.
The difficulty here, though, is that it's 4 players basically on the same spot, because already one went down. So for OG, if this is a full squad wipe, then it is done for. Luckily, Tanky has a slick off angle on the side, will take down Ida. So now OG get 2 points on the game already, which they desperately needed from yesterday, dropping down quite a bit. That's a nice start for them, but they are up against Marth, who is a pretty mean fella. He's all on his lonesome.
I mean, he's on his own right now, but this is what I was saying. CEO just lines him up and knocks him down like a bowling ball to Skittles. They fly and they're immediately flushed away. Orangutan do have an outpost in Aru for those recalls, so they will be able to get those recalls in. It's up to now a 2v2, or rather a 1v1 for Orangutan and R8 on the inside here. They're off angles, looking to get those recalls going. Kara, they sidle on into the fight and they show that terrifying presence that we've seen from them yesterday.
Well, Tanky goes down. Prestige already sending away for R8 to get the res beacon off. I thought there was only 3 players there for OG. It's showing us 3 on the leaderboard, but okay.
I was really low HP on one of the health bars. It always gets me too. But yeah, they're not going to be there anymore. They do get the recalls, and actually not too far away, so there's potential to re-engage if they want. I would caution against that. I don't think you want to get back into this fight. Doc's here as well, by the way, for APG.
Actually, for APG, it's a super tactical maneuver, which is to basically commit Sudoku over on that building. But in all realness, it does immediately get them res into Yulin. I think they'd rather go down as quick as possible so they get the immediate res beacon over towards where Top's playing right now, so they can fend off versus VP, and it works out. So yeah, I think that is just Reefus, to be honest with you.
What is going on?
Top and Ziola there too.
Yeah.
I think they might have just dropped out. Goodness me. Okay,
that's what I'm saying. I mean, they immediately died, right? And then got rezzed on top of. So this is why I think it was somewhat tactical. It looked terrible. But it was somewhat tactical because I think Top needed help immediately. So he just gets the boys in with the parachutes, and they're able to take down VP. So yeah, it's a little bit tight, but they make it work.
Lemon putting a sour taste in Jafar's mouth there with a little shot down on the position. But again, these recall beacons just so game-changing. And it's really what's allowing things to happen here. The benefit for the teams who have already moved is that everybody else is busy fighting, earning a couple points, and central positions are up for grabs. It's Stadium with Ulf and Thundertalk as well, who moved very early on from Mayran.
For the Wolves, let's be real right now, 70 points is pretty good. I mean, they have been stutter stepping throughout this Gauntlet stage in terms of the points gain, but they are on 70. I think they're keeping up. And as a North American team, again, there's not been much pride in the North America scene in the international format in a while, but I think you could be very proud of these guys right now if you're a North American fan. 70 points is great. Obviously, you also have Alpha 7 at 79, but I think that Alpha 7 is sort of a given, right? And I think it's nice to see another candidate here.
We'll pick up on Takara.
America's at least for Alpha 7.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, that's yeah, everybody else sort of lives in Brazil's shadow when it comes to the Americas region.
Yeah, exactly.
Still, so yeah, I think that's fair to say. I was crunching some numbers for the broadcast, and I took a look at several of the regions that played rather an 18 match set on this same map rotation, which includes Rondo, crucially. And in general, 7th place averaged out to just over 113 points playing. So that's really where we're looking at in terms of where we're thinking that bubble will be. We had around 110 before, and that seems to back that up. So we'll see just where these teams are going to end up. Anything over 120, you're looking fairly solid, but that's going to be pretty tricky actually today to make that up from a 70, so maybe we'll see that go a little bit lower.
Oh, sighting, so the big hitter on the team down for Thunder Talk. Harry gets a recall off. Then this one, so down towards the south side. OG consistently rotating west away from one of the players from Kara. Marso keeps trying to get ahead of them, take shots, but they keep heading west. More concerned with getting in the circle here at this point in time. Circle moves up towards the northwest side. So this is the first time we've really seen this portion of the map in quite a while here for Rondo. A bit of a different playstyle for some of our teams.
Still coming through thick and fast. Only one player down, and that is Sighting, we saw just get eliminated. King wants to put them back up. He's all the way away. Not in this fight at all. It's all up to AJ and Xing if they want to try and find some revenge here. And Scarface nearly goes down to the nade on the corner. AJ with another pop at it. Scarface relocates to the left corner here. And now plays back around the door frames. Third parties potential as Alpha 7 come on in from that north side. Look at Revo. Look at what he could do to Thunder Talk here if they don't make a move now. AJ knows about it, and this is go time. He's immediately breaking out, and he's being picked up. That's what I was worried about. For Alpha 7 to come on through. Tries to steal the point away for Scarface, but he's putting himself in the firing line of Alpha 7 as well as they sidle on in yet again. Trying to make their presence felt on this fight. Scarface, Molotov on the door. That's going to force the fight to slow just a little bit, but no, it was good. That is into the sidelines.
Yeah, very, very good pickup there. I mean, a little bit of prediction gameplay going on from Scarface in terms of the run out, so good understanding of the map as well. And now he gets to look over towards where Kai is currently playing alongside with Ulf on this scenic view, mountainside. Mad Bull's playing this game really quite slowly, though, on the northeast. Still waiting to make their move. And Kara continues to harass over towards OG. It's not really working out for either team on this one. I think OG just wants to disengage from this, but Kara is really not giving up at all. It's only 2 of their players. I think both the players down towards the southeast side are just waiting for the recall beacon to come through. I don't know why Kara is either 2-man is chasing down the 4-man squad from OG. It's very interesting.
They've got the recalls coming through, so see if they can keep this one going down. We'll have to wait to see how that pans out for them. Kara, they spotted 1, they spotted 2. Uh-oh, CEO. I mean, he did the dirty earlier. It looks like they want to do it again here. You said you wondered why they were chasing them down. Maybe they smelt blood in the water. Those flushes come through thick and fast. CEO are going to be able to pick up the loot. Still, the recall beacons are here, though, Blank, and it's still possible for Orangutan to get their team back up. But it's a bit of a mission now. The recall beacon's much less accessible as the zones start to shrink. We're into stage 2, so they can break out to a blue zone recall. I think that's what WizGod's going for now.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a bold play from Kara. I think OG just didn't understand that it was just 2 players. And then consistently moving away from them. Again, I think for Kara, fair enough. You're really feeling it off of yesterday. So you're just happy to take the 2v4. But the fact there's no turnaround was a bit odd, in my opinion. Either way, OG's... Yeah, I mean, they get themselves back up to speed, and they're moving back through the circle again, over towards that north side. Not terrible. They get to the backside of Jiao 10 as well, so there is possibility to move through here undetected and survive towards the late game.
The circle moves a little bit closer to that north side of Jiao 10 that you were talking about Orangutan being currently the only occupants of that stadium concourse. The road up to the stadium is also a major feature, Blank. The buildings that overlook it, really, really important. Very difficult to maneuver, I think, with Regnum Karya's position. For the Wolves right now, I'm looking at the middle of the map. Regnum Karya hold the buildings to the south of that concourse, of that main strip down to the stadium. And the Wolves currently sit on that road. And that is going to be pretty difficult to maneuver, but they're safe for the time being.
7 on the northwest edge. I actually quite like this spot from them. They get to control a lot of area down towards the south side. A lot of open ground, a lot of good sightlines for them. Equally, moving across from that east side is a little bit difficult versus Alpha 7. So it's not a terrible spot. Obviously, it's not direct center in the circle, but it's a possibility to play off the back of this one and get some presence on the northwest side. 2 shots from Levi's over towards Virtus Pro. I don't think he realizes that there is a whole assault squad coming through with the MG3, no less, on Aragon.
Spray downs for Natey, not going to connect for another. Virtus Pro able to get some points earned as they trek on into the west side of the blue zone. Although they have had their fair share of strife, the beacon starting to become a little bit further from available. Paragon has to stand up against the entirety of R8, and they want to run him down, and they're not going to waste any time. Paragon is out for DX Xavier. That's going to leave them on 1 player alive. That's Lambor, completely separate from this fight. There's nowhere to be seen, and the recall beacon's definitely not going to be possible for him, surely.
I think for DX Xavier, they do get a recall.
Oh, they does get it. He's on
Fair enough. Yeah. He's good to go. Aragon looking to hold his own versus R8 right now and doing not a terrible job of it, but Amori moves around the side, will get a quick finish on 1 player. Now Voston, as well as Malloy, move up, but Prestige immediately backs up the team. Marth is down, so this is a bit of a test for the rest of the players here as the blue continues to envelop.
Test passed, flying colours there. Virtus Pro cannot find the opening, and they will go down. Our first full squad wipe comes through. Virtus Pro no longer playing. APG, in the meantime, up against Regnum Karya. A knock seen towards APG. They're all bunched up in and amongst those crates. You can see a lot of knocks sent their way, and Zedwolf has a brilliant angle, but Zol, a huge nade over towards Regnum Karya. 2 of them immediately go down. A rescue mission necessary now. Silas and Zedwolf need to have their teammates' backs, and Zol gets across a sliver of HP. Healing can be done, and Wild and Loxy are not long for it. That allowed crossing has meant that Regnum Karya cut in half. A big opener for Zol.
I mean, this is what allows ABG to make these sort of plays. And I think that the best way to describe it is being quite disrespectful to a lot of angles, to a lot of teams. I mean, making that cross there is most of the time a death sentence, right? So the fact that he even goes for that is a bit wild. But I think APG, more than anyone right now, understands they need massive games. And they're already up to 7 eliminations. They can push this further than the position they're in. But I think at this point in time, you're probably more concerned with keeping players alive now. And I think that at 7 elims now, you can sort of slow the game down a little bit, get maybe 3 or 6 more elims on the game, and that's great. You know, that's going to put you in a position for the rest of the day to catch up. I said at the end of yesterday that APG needed a massive game on Rondo for me to even consider them having a chance getting into the top 7.
Yeah, it is a very, very treacherous road for them. Thunder Talk, we talked about it yesterday, right? They did so much on day 1. They were able to keep things going on day 2 with, again, a solid performance, but not as bombastic. That limelight was stolen by Kara. But Thunder Talk up to 120 points. It's very likely that they're going to be okay here on the bubble. It's pretty unthinkable that they would drop down low enough, fast enough, or rather the other teams around them. Hang on a minute. Tune back in with this fight. APG and Orangutan on multiple fronts here. Doc having a crack at it. Oh dear, that's not gone well for Orangutan. Both of their 1v1s do fall by the wayside. Now Kara, they're still ever present in these engagements. Move up, pose a one of them. Find Doc, not landing the spray. All right.
Oh my god, this guy's the Matrix, man. I swear, it's Neo. Moves on the side, he's still taking shots, gets a good chunk over towards Poser, and he is peeking up and down, left and right. And Nade finally does the trick. Marceau from the sidelines will put the final nail in the coffin there for Doc. Another nade through over towards Top as Top consistently tries to nade out a tanky.
Last player for OG OG. Another nade connects. He's still got more. He's very, very focused on this one. I think Kara have smelt something there. They know, why aren't they nading us? What's going on? Must be a guy in that corner house, but CEO doesn't mind. He'll take a point. Doesn't matter who it comes from. Again, Kara just racking up these Elim. 8 already blank. They are level now with Thundertalk.
Yeah, I mean, for Kara, they should have that info. And you are absolutely right there that for Kara, they should assume that if they're nading that building, there's got to be a player inside of it. So Marceau is quick on the uptake, will send the nade across himself. He gets a little bit of chip damage. It's really good. Yeah, now he reveals the players inside that building, and Kara can focus on removing him. Considering he's on the north side as well, it's a good idea to get him out of the picture quickly. There's E-Arena, though, getting far into this game. I mean, Maxwell wanted to see a chicken dinner out of these guys. It's going to be a little bit difficult. I think I'm more focused over towards Wolves right now on the south end of the stadium. This could be a fantastic game for them to solidify a position up towards the top of the tables in that top 7.
Absolutely, it would be brilliant to be able to jump on up there. As you say, 7th place bubble right now is a dead heat. It is the tiebreaker that decides it, and Virtus Pro at the moment are winning it. Those placements are going to come through. Mad Bulls, though, pushing into the north side over the Wolves. That is going to be a big challenge over on that area. Those buildings about to get hot over on the east side. Burning out with the Molotov, though. Alpha 7's making it plenty off DK.
I mean, Geek is struggling massively. Tanky actually takes shots and will pick up 1 elim over towards Paragin. Which is great news for the point score total for OG. You know, grab those points where you absolutely can. Alpha 7 up to 4 elims now, just making some mad sprays through the smokes as Geek groups up together. Tries to provide that healing, a real medic station on my side of things, but Guizao wants to send in the nade.
Let's go long, but it does get the re-knock onto Kevin. Now just the one player for Alpha 7 to roll down, and he goes straight through the smoke. Blind as a bat, but on with the senses. Hearing with echolocation on that one. Able to run them through. Alpha 7 pick up a squad wipe. Another team goes down. Tanky just diverts in time for the nade to not connect. I wonder if Kara spotted that run out. Yes, they did.
Yeah, I think they... Well, it's Ulf actually who sees it. That will be OG going down here in 9th. Quite a few teams underneath them as well looking to chase. You got Ulf, GS, E-Arena, Regnum Kai, but they're only on 2 players. They had a fairly strong position, but Ulf was able to pretty much dismount them off that earlier on. That and the fact that APG took down 2 of their players who, like I said, very disrespectful play from them. But I think that APG is one of the teams that actually gets away with that type of thing more often than not.
Moving in on the north side. 2 players have gone down. The Wolves, they've been here for a while. You can't just move in and expect to take a building from them. No way, no how, but they still have to deal with Flip, who's doing a lot against them. Will find nearly 2. Doran goes very, very low, but can't quite get the rest of the distance. No more recall beacons as well. They have been shut off a little bit earlier. And that's brilliant for the Wolves to stay as 4. And now they're up to 7 elims.
Yeah, I think for Wolves that was a big test, right? Versus Mad Bulls, and it's gone very well. They tried to assault the building, sure, so they had the defender's advantage, but still, I think for Wolves, that's a very, very nice thing to see. And again, I think for a team like Wolves, who maybe worries about their performance, and I think particularly those types of teams from North America do get a little bit stressed at the start of the day. Getting that motivation, getting that clear vision at the beginning of things as you head into those final 6 matches is actually a massive positive marker for them. And I think for Wolves, this could be a huge deal getting in towards the top 7.
Absolutely. They are champing at the bit for that opportunity. A direct qualification spot would be monumental. Well, to be honest, it's the least North American team that exists, and they are doing the best.
Stop. No, stop it now.
You know, it's fine. It's fine.
Look, the flag is North American.
That is true. That is true. That's undeniable. Silas seems to be pretty undeniable on his hold here, but Marceau's going to give it a good go. Stepped up. Yeah, okay. Put the pin back in the nade. Silas, what are you doing? There's a man in your face, and you're preoccupied with getting a flush. I don't know what that was about. He needs to pull himself together because Zed Wolf now has to bear the brunt of it. And he's alone atop the mountain here, trying to play up against Kara on his own.
Then Wolf sends the Molotov down just to burn out a player underneath him. Right now things are getting hairy. I think that, you know, Ulf, high ground, these two things go hand in hand a lot of times. So I think for Ulf, particularly in a rondo like this, I would probably predict them getting the chicken dinner off this game, if I'm quite honest. I really do like their prospects, and they've shown in the past they can make this work as well. It does feel like a lot of specific things have to line up for Ulf, though. In the meantime, we have these nades barreling towards Kara, creating small craters in the ground as GS attempt to assault this position. They're desperate to get out of the blue here, John.
Deadwolf, solo hold against Kara. He's got that immediate smoke pop, got the shotgun around the corner, but can't quite land it. Steps a little bit funny on the rock, twists an ankle, can't connect. Second chance maybe, but now there's two of them, and there's the backlines to deal with as well. Zephyl said dizzy there as Kara mounts to the summit of the hill and look to try and challenge
some of the tables. In first place now with 123 points. You thought Kara were done yesterday? It's not the case. 11 elims on this game, 123 points. Thundertalk need to reclaim their position at the top of the tables here, John. But the Wolves are struggling now. They would have loved to have gone a little bit further. GS disengaged with the Kara whilst they were preoccupied with Zedpulp. Doesn't matter. Marcel's not done with you yet.
Oh my goodness me. 13 elims found for Kara. It is just, it's not stopping. And there's 10 elims for Ulf. The two Wolf logos from Turkey. Looking to try and go head to head, mountain to mountain. Who will be the king of the hill at the end of it, though? All far more central. Alpha 7 with a decent run up, but they're playing as 3, and it's open ground towards Ulf.
It's honestly, I think that the biggest threat here is Alpha 7. And the fact that they can backstab on this one, because I think Ulf's going to be very preoccupied with Kara. But this is where I want to see the follow-through. I need to see the follow-through come through from Ulf here. I really do like this team. I think in the past I was very disappointed with them because I think Scarface is an awesome player, one of the best long-range specialists in the entire game. Erin's such a cool up-and-comer, very, very skilled. Ketch was MVP multiple times in the past, and you got Solus, who's just been around for donkey's years at this point, all the way back on Digital Athletics. So I think for Ulf, I want to see some follow-through here because I think they found some renewed invigoration over towards PMSL EU. Let's see that continue here.
That's what we're looking for. Survival for Sighting. He is hiding down low behind the bumper of that vehicle.
Surprised he's still here.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, but I don't imagine he's getting too much further. I wonder if people know about his position, though. That's what I'm worried about. The teams not thinking about a solo on the same.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of hiding from Thundertalk over the past day, I would say. It felt like there was a sudden change in performance on the Arangol versus OG, where we started just rolling around, but OG were able to take them out. So I'm not sure. I think Thundertalk, they kind of felt like they'd done enough, and then the gameplay has faltered from there. Juice is able to find Sighting on that angle, though, and we'll take him down. Alpha 7 is moving up at the same time whilst Kara sends grenades over towards Ulf. So this is a very, very difficult hold for Ulf right now. A battle on two fronts.
7 have made the crash, actually, up towards this hilltop. A difficult approach, but it's been allowed to go through. Nice opener. They're still playing as 3. Ulf do have Kara to worry about, though. The potential for that one to get a little bit more messy. The south side needs to conclude as well, as nades from Kara make Ulf's life harder on this hold. Rebel and Grizel already up, but Obscure is playing anchor. Scarface wants to stop him from doing just that. There he goes with the blue zone at his back, needs to win that spray trade, forces Scarface off the angle. They can't go down to the blue here. Alpha 7 can't afford to lose it, but they do have their side angle taken out, and now it's just the two of them playing in the rocks, looking for something, but no, one of them falls, the next not coming through, and the shotgun starts to rain hell from above. Grizel not done just yet. He drops for a second, but Solus on the drop spray is able to find it. Ulf lose one in the process, but they take away a major competitor.
It's a quick finish as well. I mean, they needed that over towards Alpha 7. Yes, they lose one player, but they set up the smokes nicely. Ketch has been waiting for this push for the longest of time, but they just had to deal with 3 on that side versus Alpha 7. It's imperative that they finish that fight as quick as possible. But now Wolves have a massive amount of space to play with on this eastern side. They continue to push this in. Obviously, this position on the hillside is very, very strong and will remain strong for the next minute or so. But I do think for Ulf, it needs to be consideration of dealing with Kara soon. I like that Kara have this outpost enclosure as well. Pretty much a large high ground, just looking over to where Wolves is playing. What Kara likes to do a lot here, what we've seen a lot of times with them, is get an initial knock onto the other team inside the lobby and then full push on their opponents whilst they know the other team's preoccupied. It's quite a smart maneuver, and it requires you to be very confident in your own gameplay. But Kara right now, that's what they are.
I'm just looking at the utility at the top of the screen there, Blank, and just see how stacked the Wolves are on it. The question is, can they hold out against this high ground for long enough? The high ground will still be in just a little bit. There we go with Batten, finding that opening knob. Playing up on the wall, though, that should be resident by Coops. I mean, look at the number of smokes they've got. They should be able to play that one. Also does take a tick of damage. Pickles, off angle for Wolves yet again. Trying to strike, but the blue zone will push him off fairly soon.
I think Ulf also understands now there is one player down, potentially time to try and get rid of this thorn in their side. But Kara, she takes a 2-2 on this one. I know they can play this one out slightly slower. The circle is going to pull down over towards Wolves, and I think realistically, if all the players headed over towards this would be a lot nicer. Yes, they'd have less, but when his team's coming off from the hills, it's like you really Wolves 3, it's still doable.
Stepping back into the blue, taking a lot of damage for it. CEO and Poser's position now very, very tenuous. Getting around the back of the rock going to be very, very tricky. They might just have to go for a full crash. They don't have any smoke to cover them either. It's all in the Wolves' pockets. And Ulf as well, just fighting for that second place. It's unfortunate. We'll see what they can do. Rock's now starting to become a bit of a prison for our teams. The circle closes, it'll go dead center Blank, and that's just on the roadside, right in front of the wall doorstep. And that's what you're looking for. The spray down, Troops and Doran open up the cannons, and there is the backup as well. CEO flushed away, and now it's 2 players for Kara. Look at the Solus with Baron, looking to try and stop them from getting anything more done, but no, Kara denied, as it is going to be just 1 player. He hit the deck, Marso under pressure.
Doran will take down Marso, and that will leave us down into just the 2 teams. But a great shot from Ketch over towards Doran. The headshot is strong. Now it's just 2 players here, all in the same location. If Ulf can get the smokes down, get up with some utility, potentially there's some good to be done, but only 1 more smoke left in the pocket. No more utility remaining. They have to do it dry here, John.
And they're going to be walking into a wall of grenades as well as bullets as they go on into the fight. They need to beat, and they are playing house right now. The Wolves can construct a compound for themselves with those emergency cover flares, and there is just nothing that they can do about it. The Wolves, the Battle of the Wolves at the end as well. All of the logos repping the dogs, but it is the US champions to come on through at the end of the match. What a close down for this game.
I mean, actually, the first time we've seen emergency flares being used quite well there in terms of the emergency cover. I don't think we see it used very well a lot of times, but right there, that actually was good. You know, it gave them a lot of angles to play off the back of. I think North America is going to be very happy with the way that one played out. But yeah, really, really well played. I think for the Wolves, there was that slight mistake of taking that off angle on the side. I don't think that was as necessary as they thought it was, particularly with where the circle was ending up. But again, it's hindsight is 2020 in those situations. Still for Kara and Ulf, despite both those teams going down in 2nd and 3rd place, I think they both had like high double-digit games on the elims. So everybody profited there. Everybody profited.
Yeah, those 2 high grounds were impeccably placed to farm points from the lobby. A brilliant result for the Wolves, and NA hopes alive.
Yep, okay. Emergency cover flares finally being used as they should.
And somewhere out there, a bald eagle sheds a tear of joy, baby. The Wolves get a chicken dinner right when they needed it the most. That was probably one of the best rondos we have seen all tournament long here, Max.
Finally, a non-Eastern Rondo finish. Yes,
right?
Finally. And a near stadium finish too, which is always very even to see. Wolves, very, very early fights they took in Neox Factory, right? Able to hold off that position away from E Arena and actually winning that fight early on. They're moving behind on the eastern side into the city portion of Stadium. And as Blank said at the end of that casting there, Nipchua, finally using good emergency cover flares, which is so rare to see, it feels like. Finally, salvation is real. The cover flare meta is now real. Let's go.
Yes, it took them a little bit of time to kind of figure out how to best use them, but it really felt like they got their own. They got into the mojo of things right with this game. Really, really nice cover flares coming on through from lots of different teams as well. So very excited, but man, Wolves finally. We've been wanting to see it all 3 days. We finally see it now, just when they needed it. And honestly, it was a really well played. I mean, okay, it was a little bit of slightly at the very end there. But the way they held off, the way they were able to just control, and go forward was great.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough, right? Especially because of how great Kara did in this game. With that performance, Mac, they gotta top the leaderboards, right?
Kara, genuinely, it's not just their team that's great at team fighting at this point, Hot Juice. The way they execute fights and rotate to initiate those fights is a thing of absolute beauty. Not what APG did in those replays. That was horrible. That was a horror movie right there. But Kara genuinely has such a good idea of how teams adapt to certain scenarios, and they just try and find the perfect counter to it, especially in that fight versus, I think it was Orangutan and Alpha Gaming fighting in that little container compound. And they just understand instantly the weakness, right, Niptra, of that position, which is, well, you're all going to be very spread if you want to hold down the containers. So guess what? We're just going to fight all your players one by one. Use all of the man advantage to successfully take the fight while taking very minimal risk. Exactly in the replays here. Kara, this is 10 out of 10 gameplay we witnessed yesterday and now already in this Rondo game.
Yeah, because he's right. Because, right, we've seen them win games and do really, really well with their edge play strategy, but now we got to see a glimpse of them in their CQC. When they actually try and push somebody, when they try and third-party somebody that isn't on the edge, we actually saw what their team synergy is like, and it's really, really good. So it's really nice to see that side of them come to light here in Rondo, and it just works so well in their favor.
And all the Wolves fans, right? All the Wolves fans for a second, right? They became Kara fans, right? Because Xavier started to push on them, and Kara ended up taking them out and saved them. And then immediately after, we're like, okay, Kara, stop, calm down, right? And look at the hype, man. I love seeing that reaction because, I mean, you couldn't have asked for it at a better moment in time. 24 points on the board, but look how stacked this is. You got Ulf with 20, Kara pull up 19, Alpha 7 with 13. This was a wild game, Max.
Yeah, I want to talk about Ulf. Finally, some presence, not just in terms of, oh, we get Central Hilltop and we just switch and get easy top 3, only placement points, no eliminations. No! 6 placement points, 14 bloody eliminations on board for Ulf. This is making me so happy, Nitro, because you said it for Kara, right? You wanted to see them play like they were playing in the past. I wanted the same thing for Ulf, and they finally delivered here on the first game of the day. And it's not too late. Top 7 with games like this is definitely still doable for this squad.
100%, and I feel like they really learned a little bit of a lesson from yesterday's Rondo, right? Because they had the high ground, they got sandwiched between 2 different teams, and they went the full-on passive approach. This time, they were not passive at all. They found themselves in the same situation, and they did what they needed to do. So really, really well done to them. As we can also congratulate Doran, because 5 elims, he's going to be the MVP of this.
Yes.
Love this for him.
We need to let Hodrix pop off here with an MVP of Doran. Go for it, Hodrix.
MVP, let's go, baby. I'll take that all day long. Let's take a look at the leaderboards, though. Kara have now passed up Thunder Talk here, so they are just on a tear at this point. Looking down later on the leaderboards, though, look at that. Ooh, right behind the Xavier now after that performance. man.
Yeah, I was going to say, Ulf from 13th position up to 8th. Again, we said it multiple times, Hodrix, on the pre-show. It is still so close between these bottom teams and the 7th place rank, right? And now, one good game like this from Ulf. Don't even need the win, just a high elimination match. Of course, it's going to be a bit buffed up because it was a Rondo game with a recall system, but that was enough to put them back in the conversation. Though a team that's still dropping, I have to bring it up once more. Virtus Pro, man, they had such a stellar first day, and it's just been dwindling from there on out. Virtus Pro, we know they have the potential. They need to capitalize because now everyone else is stepping up to the plate, except for Virtus Pro. They need to do something literally this next game, or otherwise they might be out of the conversation at the halfway point of today.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally possible. By the way, you know, you saw the Wolves, right? They were in 8th place. They jumped all the way to 5th right there, knocking some teams down. And that's the crazy thing about this Neptune, right, is how stacked this lobby is. Everybody is hunting down one of those 7 slots. It's going to get tighter and tighter as it gets closer to the end of the day here for that last position, right? With Wolves passing up so many teams. We got Virtus Pro knocked down. DRX, right? I want to talk about this team. Because when it comes to emergency cover player usage, these guys put like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath on the market in this last game. It was wild to see.
Yeah, Dick Xavier really just deciding to go all in. Wait, Dick Xavier or was it DRX?
DRX.
DRX? Yeah. Okay, so DRX coming on through here. I mean, they did what they need to do, but really, I mean, we were so concentrating on all the chaos going on that zone was actually really tough. You have one massive high ground, you have one city held by wolves, and the rest was pretty open. So DRX did exactly what they needed to do. They had one shack that went, well, we can't fit it all in here, so let's build, let's construct, let's get some cover players going. It worked really, really well. It actually helped them survive a lot longer than they normally would have, and that's exactly what those cover players are for.
It was a shack until they put down like 6 emergency players. Then it became a mansion. Okay, very comfortable. They had a garage and everything. Okay, they parked the car. They were having a great time in that shed. But unfortunately, as you said, it was a shed. So it really kind of made it really hard for them to transition outside of that area later on in the game. But as you said, it kept them to survive a little bit deeper in this game, get a few more placement points. But it is still not the DRX I want to see. Even though they got a win yesterday, I was still not sold. I'm like, DRX still a little bit inconsistent. Not what you want to see from that South Korean team that we know can do great stuff, especially during BMIC, where they just dominated that tournament from start to finish. DRX still need to see a little bit more presence. But by the way, looking at these top 4 gunslinger stats, 2 players over 1,000 damage. You don't see that very often, but here it's coming out from Scarface and Eren, the rising star of Turkey. We keep calling him that, and it's for a reason, because this guy can put up numbers on the biggest stage here in PUBG Mobile eSport.
Yeah, beautifully done right here. I love to see just such a little bit of point sponges and big shakers on the leaderboards, right? You know, speaking of, you're talking about inconsistent, Max, right? I just gotta mention it. It's gotta be Alpha Gaming, okay? They put up 8 eliminations in this one. And the big thing that I noticed, right, was that hot drop onto Thunder Talk. What do you think about that?
I mean, Thunder Talk did not want a hot drop. They just like, no, we're not dealing with this. We're getting the hell out of here. Which I like from Thunder Talk. They're like, we don't want to risk our first position, which I do respect to some extent. But no, here they instantly, as you said, sent it onto Thunder Talk, keeping top split away from the team going into Yulin. And then they were like, oh, this hot drop didn't happen right, Niptra. So what they did instead is chase down another hot drop, which was, I believe it was Kara versus Orangutan versus R8. And that actually did reward them a few early eliminations. So that definitely did work out for them.
Yeah, they did, and then they went straight over to VP as well. Remember when they actually got the recall, and then VP were there suddenly, and they got a few points onto VP as well. So I really liked how they were playing, and I love the energy we're seeing from them. They just got cut short there. A couple of weird plays coming through just meant that they weren't able to survive probably as long as they wanted to, but I like the energy we're seeing from them. They're like being very, very aggressive, straight out the gate, just running around trying to farm points, and that's what they really need to do if they want to be still top 7 at the end of the day.
I would have to say, tell me if you guys agree or not, but
okay,
we were saying APG prank. They're so sweaty right now in game. I don't think they're pranking anymore. I think this is APG serious mode, and it's just not working.
No, stop that talk, Max. Yesterday, you said they were washed, and now they're performing good. Don't go back. Stay with that energy,
bro.
You know what I'm saying? Keep that energy, bro.
Wait, are they playing good? I wouldn't say this was great. I wasn't sold.
It's better.
Okay, okay, I hate APG. Okay, no, I'm not gonna. That's maybe a bit too much there, but Yeah, for me, it's still not the Rondo I wanted to see from APG. Even though they were trying, like the mindset was there, but the execution was a bit all over the place.
Yeah.
And Orangutan are like, Chumacera is ours. That's going to be interesting. The Miramars, we want to stick around for those because that's going to be pure cinema later on today.
Yeah. I mean, I can't wait to see these matches coming up. We got Erangel up next, though, right? And you know what? I will say, when it comes to Alpha Gaming, they're at a stage where they need a big match, right? It's not going to happen with a chicken dinner and just a couple eliminations. They need a double-digit elimination chicken here, especially considering just how well some of these other teams are doing, right? They can pop off so big. So I'm going to ask you this, Niptura, right? We saw them try to go for Thunder Talk. What do you think Alpha Game is going to do here? They're going to go for their tried and true, location in military, or you think they're going to mix it up at all?
Oh, that's a great question. Honestly, the way they're playing, I could see them doing either of those things, to be completely honest, because they went for it in Rondo, and maybe they just went for it because you do have that recall system in place. There's that little bit of buffer. Erangel is a little bit more serious, a little bit more, one shot only. So I feel like they're probably, okay, you know what? I've got it. They're going to go for their original drop. They're going to still do that, but they're going to rotate so quickly. They're not going to linger as long. They're going to try and get into the match as soon as possible. That's my take.
What do you think, Max? It's going to be that. I agree.
I was looking at numbers. Which team we're talking about?
We're talking about Alpha Gaming.
Okay, Alpha Gaming. No, I think they're going to go for their original drop then. Play C block. Oh, of course, that's dependent. The thing that annoys me with Alpha Gaming on Erangel is that they only drop in military base, like C block in particular. If we have a northern plane path, it really ruins them. I've seen them so many times in CSA hot jukes where they would just try and stretch their drop. And here we have Wolves on the western bridge, right? Or Thunder Talk on the eastern bridge. And you're going to have to pass them if you want to make it to your drop location. I think a secondary drop for them would just literally fix 99% of their problems. And they're just unwilling to do so. So unfortunately, they're going to keep going there. They might not clash with GS because GS, they've clearly shown that this is not worth their time. They're focused on top 7. Yeah, unfortunately, no APG. I would like to see that, but it's just never going to happen. Yeah. No way.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, it might not. When we see them mix up a drop spot in Rondo, you got to bring up the topic, right? Especially considering that these guys have 31 points they have to cross in order to get into that 7th place position, right? That ain't going to happen by just doing the same thing you've been doing, right? So it's going to be a crazy, like an absolute Cinderella story if Alpha Gaming do somehow make it. I'm going to say it right now. If they don't get a chicken dinner, double-digit limbs this game, we're going to see them in the group stage. What do you think, guys?
I agree.
Yeah.
Yep. Nothing to add to that. We need to see a win from Alpha Gaming. Like, genuinely. Not just Alpha Gaming. You know what? We're going to call out a few. Still Arena. I said I wanted to see a win. Unfortunately, hot dropping Wolves in Neox. There's their drop location by default. A bit of a weird call right there. Ulf definitely showing some potential, but Regnum Karia too. You know what? Still waiting to see though that win, like a confident win. They did do decently well this game with that position west of stadium. I want to see a big win where they actually put a lot of effort on their macro side of things and they're going for big breaches. That Miramar of yesterday was a little bit given to them. So Regnum Karia have not sold me yet on that potential that we know they have, Niptra. Because again, when you look at the power rankings, they're the #1 team in the world right now. But for me, the caliber of play we've seen is not #1 level just yet.
No, not quite, but I am hopeful after yesterday's win that we're going to be able to see a DRX all over again, right? DRX got a win that was kind of handed to them, then they came out in the final fight to take the win. Cool. Then they used that momentum into the rest of the matches, and I'm just waiting to see that from Regnum. They got the win. We know what they can do. Surely that's put them in the mood to win some more, and maybe today we'll just see that from them.
Yeah, I feel like we're being very negative on this segment, but like the thing is, Hodrix, this lobby is so stacked, right? We want every team to make it to the finals, but you only have 7 slots, so we're going to be critical because all these teams have potential to perform on the global stage. So it's a tough one, man. It really is.
It really is, and it's especially tough for EA and Alpha Gaming. You got to get a chicken dinner right here, right now, or it's pretty much all over. Let's get Eric Gale started and send it on over to Blank and John Allen.
Oh, absolutely. Well, let's get stuck into Erangel. Put those recall beacons to bed. No more recalls in the Gauntlet stage. It's time for our middle meat of the sandwich. It is the 3 Erangel stretch that sits ahead of our teams now as we head in from North George down towards Novo. We're cutting straight across the middle of the island. Nice and easy for all our teams.
A big profiteering off that game one, which is always great to see for a lot of our squads, particularly for Wolves. They were able to put up a big scoreline there, which should really assist them in the rest of the day in terms of getting over towards that top 7. And for a North American team, will be a hell of a result to go straight towards those finals. Like Max was saying, APG dropping down towards Millie base in C block. It is tough. I mean, any team that plays Millie base always does struggle. I mean, we remember way back in the day with Stalwart, who played Nova of Noya a lot. And that sort of worked because the playstyle of the game was very edge focused. As opposed to teams challenging for those central spots. So from Nova Noya, Stalwart was just so much better than everyone else that they could effectively play edge play. It's not really the case anymore, and I think that APG does definitely get cut out a lot of the time, especially because they're not winning a lot of these fights either. So it is a tough position to be in. There's been a lot of ego challenges already on Rondo from APG, and I think Max is absolutely right in terms of them sweating. But it makes sense, and they have to do it right now if they want to catch up. Geek, on the other hand, I think that they are really struggling right now, and it's more likely they're heading over to, I think it's less more likely, it's definite that they're going to be heading over towards those group stages. But it's so packed towards the middle of the tables. I mean, you can see the points totals here. It's absolutely crazy the way things are lining up, with there only being 11-point difference. 9-point difference, sorry, between OG as well as DX. So it's a bit crazy. I was right the first time. I just second guessed myself.
Yeah, you got to make sure that you're getting those number differences on and into the mix. At the moment, we're still looking at the high 100 orts for the cutoff point, somewhere in that around 110 range. The more stacked the lobby gets, this is something that you were saying before, Blank, the more stacked the lobby gets, especially in the middle, generally you see that bubble start to get a little bit lower down, but it's really difficult to predict. In the middle of a lobby, it's very, very volatile.
Yeah, I think that, again, and it happened over in PMSL EU, where because the lobby was so strong, it was hard to predict where that cutoff was going to be, just because there were so many teams vying for it. And the same could be said here. I think there's only really one team right now that's really massively lagging behind, and that is Geek. Down in 16th. I think everyone else is really trying to pump those numbers up towards that top side. I guess you could say E-Arena and APG as well have fallen behind quite a bit. They have some big work the next 5 games to make up the difference. But realistically for E-Arena and APG, it is a chicken dinner, right? It is a chicken dinner to get back up towards that middle of the pack. So we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. Because right now, anyone can make it back in towards that top 7. I think round about that 3rd game of the day is where things are going to start to solidify a little bit more.
And we are hopefully going to see that from them, but I'm not holding my breath, to be honest. At the moment, Wolves riding high off of their victory in the last match. Hopefully, they can keep things going. We caught up with them over on the stage. 7, what have you got for us?
Welcome back to a quick report with the 7WG. I'm joined by the USA, because Wolves just got a win. Igor, earlier we were talking about the changes that you were going to be implementing into Wolves. You were saying you guys got to be playing more together. It worked out wonders. What are you going to be looking to do to continue on this performance? Right now, you're 15 points ahead of 8th place.
Yeah, we just need to keep it up, the energy. Like our communication was good this match. Like you said, we played together like a block, you know. So it worked so well in this match. I think we're going to stick to it to the 5 more matches.
Oh, I'm hoping it happens because I want to see an NA team in the finals, baby. Back to y'all.
There we go. Keeping that energy up is exactly what they need. But over a 6-match day for the remainder of this tournament, Blank, that is a tall order to keep the energy flowing the entire time.
Yeah, I enjoy what they say. You know, it played like a block. I was like, yeah, you guys did it. You absolutely played like a block there. Rules squared out team, squared away. Thunder Talk here versus E-Arena. Early engagement for them. Already finding 1 pick-off over towards E-Arena as well, which is very bad for their prospects.
Need over. Not going to find anything. Yasnaya currently stilled slightly, but There is tension in there. I'm sure it'll be tricky. This is a replay of the elimination. Yeah, Thunder Talk, they found one player. Did give it a good go, a good crack, actually a really good crack around the staircase there, getting those two, getting that knock and doing a lot of damage. But yeah, if you're isolated at a building with 4 players from Thunder Talk, it's not likely you're walking out of there.
Yeah, it's always a case where, I mean, in that situation, it's very clear to me what Thunder Talk's strengths are as well, which is the fact that they're able to work together as a team so well. And I mean, you do see a lot of times players will just run up those stairs solo and give multiple 1v1s, but that's not the case. You have one player peek close and then one player jump far, and it's almost guaranteed that you're going to get that elim as long as you are keeping things, you know, tight and coordinated. So I think for Thunder Talk, that's nice to see. I think that that's the big difference between right now Thunder Talk and Kara, is that Kara has good teamwork, but they also have a lot of firepower to back that up as well. And that's the thing that Thunder Talk is going to definitely struggle with over in those finals, is whether they can increase that firepower a little bit more. I think it's almost funny where Thunder Talk has played such a good game, but I think that Thunder Talk actually would have loved to go through to group stages and last chance just to get more experience, right? I think that is the benefit from playing those stages. It is way more stressful, but you get a lot more practice on the big stage.
It is always important to go into the finals with as much confidence as you can find, and I mean, maybe that's the way to do it, maybe not. APG looking to try and farm some points here. Nerzed stays peaked for a little bit too long, but the wall just about saves him as he gets the bead onto top. And top has to divert away here. APG, though, very solidly in control of the bridge, and they'll give it up. And they don't want the points from Geek. They're going to head on into the zone, get a little bit closer to center, not waste any more time on the south.
Yeah, kind of a strange engagement there where Nerzed and Top were just kind of looking at each other menacingly that entire time. It was about 3 seconds before shots were even fired. So they were both like, "Are you? That's a guy, right? I'm pretty sure that's a guy." But I think giving up the ghost on that one's not a terrible idea for APG. They know that what they're struggling with right now is getting towards center circle. It's almost as if they're listening to Max as well on the analysis there. So, getting there nice and early is a great idea for them. Random Kaya in the way right now of OG, who have tried to get center on this one, and proud of them for that. It has been quite a few games right now where they've been struggling and playing on the edge, so seeing them get towards the center here nice and early is definitely going to be useful for them.
Random Kaya having that bit of a lack of performance here in the Gauntlet stages. They are the champions coming from their region. They have won plenty of global titles before, but it's just not being put together in the same way. That infusion of Zedwolf that we saw this season for them, moving into the roster, showing up with the other 3. I mean, it went very well for them back in the Europe stages, but it's not really coming through in this Gauntlet stage. They haven't been able to find the fights they're looking for. It feels like they just aren't able to establish the same sorts of holds that they were doing before in the regional stages.
No, Reefus goes down again. Genuinely, this is the biggest problem with APG right now. It's just careless gameplay overall. GRX take a knot over towards Kagsei. Zedwolf will blow the vehicle and get the elim off the back of that. I think that for Regnum Kaya, the biggest thing for this team right now is I still don't think Zedwolf's quite found his place in the team. And I think that towards the end of PMSL EU, he's playing a really good off-angle playstyle, but then you're sort of taking that away from Silas. And genuinely, I do think that as good as Silas is, I think he might need to step back a little bit and allow Zedwolf to do that a little bit more. Because Silas is a great scout, he's a great IGL, he's a great fragger, he's a great off-angle player. And I think that delegation might be key for Silas at this point in time, because just because he can do it all doesn't mean he has to do it all.
He is undeniably one of the all-time greats of PUBG Mobile, one of the most decorated players we've got in the team. One of the longest-term faces. I'm sure if you've been watching international level PUBG Mobile for a while, you'll have seen him before, but you're right, it is not just about what he can do, it's about what the players around him are doing as well. And he needs to give some of that over, potentially. R8, a little bit further north on the east side of Rozhok, as our circles close down to the south side. No shenanigans, no chicanery around the river. We are going to be fairly solid on this south side. The east edge currently mainly controlled by OG. You do have DXavier just across the road from them, which could be a problem if they need to move forwards.
Yeah, it's a pretty empty area that they're currently in right now. It's figuring out where they want to go next, but a lot of these positions on the north rotate as well as the south rotate are already taken up, so making those pushes is going to be a little bit difficult. Quite like Madball's position right now on the northeast side of Pachinki. This is a good spot to be playing in. A lot of options for them going forward, especially with a lot of teams not over towards that western side. Most rotated on the east, actually. So I think for Madballs, it's pretty free and clear for a lot of this game.
With an outpost on the south side, close to Aragon for Virtus Pro. With the buggy there, I mean, the runner is possible, but it's towards the opponent. If you get pressured, I feel like that buggy might just be a little bit of a bait to try and go for. Maybe a run out the back would be better. And yeah, I think this is a wise reposition coming through from WizGod. Already there are shots ringing out through it. Aragon gets spotted as well. The tank actually being borne down upon. No, Milky Way not going to go in for that.
Face find Silas. In fact, that's from all through Dead Central, and they will find the flush as well. Around school at the moment, both teams going toe to toe. Scarface up close and personal right now with them, but a good shot from Wild around the corner just clips him on the shoulder and will send him spinning. Kind of walk around school for now.
A little lesson, but taking down their IGL, but now Zeppel is going to have to be that off angle. So maybe we'll see him unleashed a little bit more. We can only hope. If you're a Bregman Kai fan, watch on, see what they can do. The arena moving in to try and get the res, but they are still under pressure by DXavier and Tony K. He tries to take shots, but doesn't realize the threat is a lot closer to home.
Madball's taking out most of those elims, by the way. DXavier denied quite a bit there, actually. And they do continue to take shots from Geekay across the way. Maybe a little bit overzealous pushing in like that. OG smell blood in the water and will be sending across in the meantime. Get a run down over towards Paragin. First vehicle elimination of the match. OG does find an entryway off the back of that third party.
Keeping up, they are going to be moving towards Ulf if they want to go any further north. Remember, they lost a player early, so they are down one. Potentially be an opening advantage, especially, okay, they're dying straight across the road, straight between school and the compounds to the southwest. They're playing out in the open fields now, Blank. They're playing this ditch that, I mean, if you've played in these headshot hills for any amount of time, you're very familiar with them. That border that lies to the south side will protect them a little bit from Madballs. The question is, how long and how tenable will it be as teams crunch in on the area?
Yeah, another quick rotate from them as well from the other two players. They got the anchor down and then they pull the rest of the team across to them. I think that was a fairly decent play coming through from OG as well. I mean, they see that DXavier is under threat. They immediately roll over that way. They can see that a lot of that area has been taken. It was multiple teams going down, so they assume that area was fairly clear and free. They just push across. So again, very nice play. I think for Madballs, they have the slightly better position here, and it looks like they're not willing to just give up this area for free either. As they send Lemon up front. Funnily enough, this is like one of Lemon's most famous areas of the map as well. Multiple insane grenades he's sent across in this location. So if you're OG, you're going to be slightly worried about those coming towards you.
And he's flexing out to that northeast side of things. Next circle popping in just a few seconds as well. We'll see where we're going to play for that too. And actually, this favors the teams out on the north side and OG as well, with a really good look in on this circle with the position they've got. Wouldn't be too surprised to see Madballs maybe try and push into the two buildings across the road, but for now, it might be better to bide their time, especially when they're being crashed on. The Wolves from the southeast side, they make a quick decision and move up to the compounds, and now Madballs have more fish to fry.
Yeah, it's a really good spot for OG now. One of the best spots, in fact. A lot of cover to be had. A little bit of smoke will have to be expended, but Wolves make a crash on towards the seaside, which is going to absolutely lock down. And Madballs, they won't be making that cross. They'll have to get rid of the Wolves early, so the expenditure of nades is needed. This is very fortuitous for OG now.
Having a great time on the north side. Can they get a couple of those points as well if they can steal one or two away from the fight? Or maybe even claim one for themselves. Great news for their points tally. That fight around the bubble is really important. APG losing Seoul there on the off angle, not going to be able to win that challenge. And Virtus Pro continue to move through. Leave them in the dust, let the blue zone do the work. The heavy lifting not necessary on their part, but Milky Way is down. I don't think they've got him in a vehicle. I think they've left him behind. Yeah, they're not going to be moving in with 4. So 3 players now for Virtus Pro.
I mean, it's pretty telltale, that situation of just like the dichotomy between Virtus Pro as well as APG is that when Virtus Pro is rotating there, when they're taking the fights with 3 or 4 players. And every time we saw APG fighting there, it was a solo, right? A solo trying to make a solo play, the hero play. And I think APG needs less of that. The teamwork just isn't quite there yet.
It's unfortunate. You kind of expect it to be though, right? Like this is a team of veterans for years and years, right? They should be playing better, all things considered.
Yeah,
it's not good.
You do expect the solo play from the man on your screen on the right, at least.
Yeah, well, maybe they all want a little bit of limelight. Now nobody gets it. It's a not very illustrious performance from APG so far, and they got GS just over the ridgeline to the front. It's difficult to crest over and take shots down. You expose yourself to so many angles. If you're GS, you can't risk going too far forwards. Let's see what more they can do. Mad Bulls, okay, they find a knock over towards Wolves, find a second as well. The Wolves crashed in. They've been okay for a while now, but now they're under a lot of pressure, and there's that first flush coming through.
Like I said, Lemon with the nades, man. In this area of the map, he is good with it. Now there's 1 player remaining in Coops. Nade does quite a bit of damage, and they look to finish off the job. Mad Bulls at 4 players, and what a jump out coming through from Lemon.
Oh, third party. Kara moving in. They're already on this roadside and blank. They might not have their full squad, but they're still going to be able to do damage, and the Mad Bulls have to worry now more.
They do find Poser right off the rip there. OG, though, finding a little bit of damage over towards Pusher. Need to pick him back up off his feet. Bit of an awkward position to get into. Luckily, the vehicle's already burnt out, so won't be taking too much damage there. Ulf is slowly encroaching down towards the south side versus OG. But again, OG could pick up a lot of points off the back of this, but are struggling to find those eliminations.
Tough time for them to do that, and you're right, with Ulf moving in to their route out into the open, that's going to make things harder, and it means they do need to commit a little bit more to clearing out their south side in order to get away from this one. Thunder Talk trying to cross the road in Roshok. It's so difficult with DRX as well in the background. Alpha 7 feeling a little bit safer, but they have to move as well, right? Alpha 7 have to go a little bit further south. The move is easier for them, but it is definitely tougher for Thunder Talk right now.
Alpha 7's first ball call here is to get rid of Thunder Talk on the crossing on the road, which is why they have this massive smoke train lined up. It's a great nade thrown down, but no massive value found off it in terms of the knock. But it is DRX, which is the true issue here for both teams.
Get across, but at what cost? Sighting the last player to stand, and then nade's going to sit him down back on. King across the road still has not made that dash. The smokes have started to run bare as Revel picks up the point. DRX, though, the major profit makers there. Reckon Kaya as well. Hang on a minute. They're chiming in. We've got Wild and Zed Wolf on the flank. They've pushed them out of school up to the north, with Roxy holding down the west cut. See what they can do. Mad Bulls. They have to deal with Kara, but CEO is able to claim a point. Looks for more as well. With the auto shot, he pops the reload. Not going to find the nade on in for Pusher as well as they turn the corner. He gets one. Looks to try and find a little bit more. There's the flush of the Mad Bulls. They're leaking.
CEO once again the big earner on the team, looking to put more points on the table. Nade down the stairs, already 2 found in a 1v4.
CEO, Chief Elimination Officer, Kara, have their front man. He's dropping down the stairs. He wants to take the fight in. No. Backing off. He's giving them the slip. He's playing this one pretty crazy. It's the Xavier have joined the party now, blank. They've moved on in. You can see Levi's now up on the lineup. Got Lambor as well on the south. They need to push through this. The circle sits on these buildings. The only respite is inside.
Oh gee, the arbiters of this. Again, I feel at this point in time, Kai, you do want more points, and a lot of these points are just being siphoned by teams that keep rocking up towards this location. I think OG would much rather hold onto the warehouse here, it seems, rather than clearing out this position. Shots on the side down. That's Loxy. That's a very long-range shot coming through from Loxy there. But a good pickup from OG. They will steal away that elimination, which is what we were looking for.
CEO on the top floor. In the C-suite there. He is not having the greatest of times. I mean, Mad Bulls, 2 of them, he's already dealt with 2 of them, sure, but it just means that the Mad Bulls aren't going to present as many angles to them. Normally, if you're playing as 4 against 1, you are rushing up those stairs, you're turning those corners, maybe you accept a knock, maybe 2. But when you're playing as 2, it's much more cautious, which means that those openings are just not going to be given in the same way.
That moves out into some horrid landscape, by the way. Moving away from the headshot hills into just the hills. Very open space around the area as well. It's going to be difficult to play. I think Regnum Kaya actually gets very lucky on this one. Despite them being all the way on the eastern side of the map, you still have a lot of school to play around with. And a lot of other teams are going to be in danger just purely because the amount of caution that's needed whilst rotating in towards the circle is very high. You see that absolutely no team wants to play in the center of the map right now, and it makes massive sense why.
Through from Levi is to try and get a hurry up on that fight because they need to leave as well. Alpha 7 trying to crest the ridgeline. CEO, oh, we got one, but he wasn't quite good enough for the full 4-piece, unfortunately. Zedwolf is going to be swarmed on as DRX descends from the high ground as well. He's an outpost for Regnum Kaya. They aren't going to be able to pick him back up. That's Regnum Kaya down to 1 player. Try to extract value from this game and spread themselves too thin. R8 as well, moving into the hills. Alpha 7 taking that dash. Everything is popping up now, Blank, as the Mad Bulls on the south are suffering the blue zone. Revel looks for Marth as he sends over the back of the buggy, up straight back into the front seat, tries to get away, but there's too many Alpha 7 players littering around it.
Yeah, very concerned about that push from Marth there. I think he's getting a little bit too big for his boots. As APG also will chime in over towards RA as they attempted to disengage away from Alpha 7. And I do think Alpha 7 is the big story here right now. The fact they were able to dismount DRX from that top side, DRX opts to head down towards school. Yes, it's a very strong spot and they do want it. But again, it is crazy to me that Alpha 7 was able to get away from all of this action and still maintain control on the north side. GK takes a knock from OG as we head over towards placement point territory.
I think, did EK take down Ulf in the middle of all of that? I think they might have done, because that's where Ulf was sitting. EK had 5 elims, and at the moment, that's an interesting turn-up. Getting rid of Ulf there, getting rid of DX Xavier as well on a 7th place bubble. With 4 players alive, OG on the south edge now have to make a move, but they haven't had to before. They've been held fairly strong in that center area, but they're right on the edge now, and they need to get across somehow. They need to pick their path.
Yeah, it's a tough rollout now to make from OG. They made themselves known over towards DK as well, weren't able to secure that full flush over towards them, so they know where they're coming from, and they are coming out from a small lip on the hillside into open area. APG still going strong with Doc and Top though. This dynamic duo from the team. They're the only 2 players that actually respect one another.
So it would seem, at the moment anyway, but they are right up to the edge of the zone now. Nobody playing in the middle because nobody can. It is a death sentence to move out into the open. Alpha 7, probably the team with maybe the best shot taking this one. Them and OG, the 2 teams that are going to have a good time. I'm sort of counting GK out, despite the fact that they did roll up to Ulf and win a clean 4v4.
Yeah, I think the difficulty for OG right now is that although they play this game pretty well, it's coming out from that lip that's very difficult, right? You are going out to open ground. So, you know, OG could play this game really well and make a quick maneuver, but that's the only thing I do worry about for them at this point in time. DRX continues to send outposts forward. Revo goes down, so that's going to delay Alpha 7 quite a little bit.
Named in from Hyunbin and actually coming through the DK as well. Ooh, this is nasty stuff. That ridgeline, that little valley that sits there. Oh, AKOP having to reposition. He knows he has to get in because those reses have to be happening fast now. 2 seconds, the zone's closing. They don't have the time to be picking up their teammates here. One of them's already fallen them down. AKOP, I mean, committing to this res, I just don't think it's going to happen. WizGod, you have to give it up, brother.
Yeah, again, like I was saying, this is such a horrible rollout for OG. You really can't make it happen very well. And I think the fact they held out in this position for so long is already quite admirable. But yeah, as soon as you have to leave from this spot, it's just death.
Yeah, they transition there, just not possible. Away from that area, and Geek actually kind of taking command now. They move Ragnarok out into the open. One of the very few teams that were in a position to maybe even allow that. They're serpentining in the rest of them as well as they make that crossing. Hyunbin doesn't quite manage to clip it. OG looking to piece themselves back together. There's still one more dash in them, but they are trapped now under the watchful eyes of Obscured.
Up short of OG with WizGod and AKOP. It is going to be those little underhand lobs though coming through Alpha 7, which will be treacherous for Geek in the coming moments.
Literally nothing to play with on that south side. Let's see what they've got here. DRX as well. They don't have any nades, which is pretty important here. Means Geek are a little bit safer. Alpha 7 wanting to try and channel their ordnance forwards. Nice. Nade over to Obscure. That is a big pickup. Geek, they've taken down Ulf already this match. So they've got to be feeling themselves. Ragnarok potentially moving into danger there as Rio spots him. He will be faded away from. The health bar is getting a little bit pink, but be okay for the time being. The reposition is good, and the nade is even better. Carrillo able to land it, tracks the movement well. But there they go. OG standing up, and they spot Nerza. They go for the flush immediately and hit the deck once more, but they will pay the ultimate price for it. Maybe another point earned, but fourth place for Elims will be where they find themselves drawn to a close on the game. DRX moving into position as well. Hyunbin on the back flank to Alpha 7. And Misao going down.
No way,
Ever vigilant finds Hyunbin, but over the top go Geek. They look for more. Into the fold they go. Alpha 7 down to 1. The flank out from So Easy looks for a shot on the sidelines. It's not going to connect. And it's Geek with 2 versus 1 from Alpha 7. And they shut it all down. Geek from the bottom of the tables. Finally, a breath of life.
And now they don't look so bad anymore. I think the main positive here is that they're kind of like an out-on par of APG and E-Arena. So I said at the beginning of the game that they were massively lagging behind everyone else. But, you know, at least they can, if they end Gauntlet in top 7, it'll be insane. But if they end top 7 out of it, at least they can say that they weren't the worst team by a mile.
I mean, this is really monumental, not just for their points tallies, but for confidence, right? It's like they can do it. We are able. We have that possibility. Alpha 7 denied as well. That was unfortunate. Felt like it kind of got away from them there. Not quite able to close down that high ground. But Geek with a miraculous turnaround in the open field. A crash, a full 4v4 against Ulf, who we saw have that performance in that last game. They were able to win it out. We transitioned into the open field when we thought it was impossible. But my goodness, what a close down.
Yeah, very well done. Let's see what the desk had to say about that game.
EK get the chicken dinner all the way from the bottom of the leaderboards. We're talking about how those teams at the bottom needed a chicken right here, right now, Max. The question is this just too little?
OG tried to take any shots onto Geek. A7 would have their back because they would just shoot over the top. So it's a really well thought out play to actually go just send straight to the middle over to A7 rather. Yeah. And it worked out. I mean, Saf G with 1,000 damage coming in here. The whole squad just really putting up those elims to back up that win. Great stuff.
It feels like the situation you're talking about, OG and Alpha 7, is the enemy of my enemy is my friend for now. But just for now. Later on we'll start fighting again, but for now you're going to help us out. And it was definitely a great game plan, perfectly executed. I even want to take you a bit earlier, right? That push onto Ulf, they knew how valuable that little dip position north of the orangutan warehouse was going to be. They take it very early on to make sure they don't get third-partied by any stragglers on the side. So happy with DK. Is this going to be the flash in the pan? That's a question we do have to ask because we've seen it for a few other teams, right? They get one big game and then kind of disappear. DK, this puts you back in a race. You can't afford to disappear. You need to stay present. We need to see more points coming out on board if you want to make it in the last final stretch here, Hot Shoots in the top 7.
Yeah, I would say this, right? It's not the nail in the coffin for them, right? But I will say, with that win, you know, that hammer is still in the air. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you got to do a whole lot here if you want to make it into top 7. But, I mean, it couldn't have been at a better time for DK. The question is, though, right? You know, DK win this game. I got to talk about it, though. OG towards the end, right? They had that southern position, right, for so long. You know, what do you think they should have done? Do you think they did it, the right thing on just kind of holding that spot, or should they have made that push on the GK maps?
I think they should have pushed on DK a little bit earlier, actually. They were eventually going to be forced out of this warehouse position, which was very comfortable. Like, you can even see in these replays, right? Fighting Mad Bulls, Israel, the Ethan, Xavier, getting the easiest time to pick off those fights. But then they got at least try and claim these wins in big fashion.
Yeah, and what confuses me even more about this play from OG, like just the hesitancy to do something about DK, is that's totally against their own playstyle, against their own strategy. We see them time and time again, normally just being able to spread out and take all those fights, and they just weren't doing it. But now we see top 4. These rotations, they gotta be something else, right? DK, how did they win from there?
Exactly, I was waiting for this graphic. This is a Novo team. If whoever says in chat they got gifted circle, I'll find your address, okay? We're gonna have a little conversation, okay? Because these guys were rotating all over the place, entering the southern side, Milto, going into farm, around Pachinki, and you can see the way they were going for, the positions they were aiming for, every single circle shift. The scouting was so well executed, Neptura. They were getting so much intel off the back of those little rotates, little leapfrogs into the circle, seeing what's valuable, well team's position, and just kind of the most impactful for them in these matches. Scouting, we keep saying it, it's so important, and GK in particular here really showed that it can win you games on explosive.
Absolutely, and DRX doing the exact same thing. They grabbed that high ground on the top of Rosshawk there, and then swept down onto Regnum Cario with the school area, and then were just able to push in like that. It didn't get them the win, sure. It definitely got them 14 eliminations. So again, love what we're seeing here from DRX. It's controlling, it's aggressive, without going overboard. So it's really nice to see that from them too.
Man, that rotation from Alpha 7, too, was wild. From North George all the way to Stallmer, right? And then they make it on down the way. I love that graphic. Definitely breaks things down for us, just how crazy these rotations are, right? I will say, though, with that school field finish, Max Man, how bad do you think these players were missing those emergency cover flares, huh?
I keep saying it, PUBG Mobile Esports, please, can we add emergency cover flares on all the maps? It would be literally so fun to see. But yeah, they would have loved it to bits, man. Imagine you give that to Alpha 7 and they can actually hold that little plateau with 2-3 emergency cover flares. Man, that would have been game-changing on this match. But unfortunately, it was not meant to be. And you know what was also not meant to be? E-Arena. I know I picked them at the start of the show. It's not working out. I'm sorry, E-Arena, but not seeing anything of value being brought to the table, and as of right now, they're falling even further behind. I think it might be GG for the top 7 here on the side of the arena.
Yeah, honestly, I said it. I said if they don't get a double-digit elimination chicken dinner right there, it's over. So for me personally, I'm going to put the nail in the coffin for them. But when it comes to GK, right, they performed right when they needed to at the last second, Neptura. But, I mean, this just has to be a start. Honestly, I think if they're going to make it in top 7 here going on out, I mean, just look at them, right? They go up to 15th place with 47 points, but DRX is at that cutoff with 86. That's a huge hurdle to jump.
Oh, in just 4 more games, I think that's almost impossible. They would have to pull out a Kara-like performance today to try and do that. I think the way they've been playing, I don't think that's really in the cards. They might have a really good day. I'm not going to put it past them. You know, a win is sometimes what a team needs. We've seen it with DRX. We've seen it maybe with Regnum Cario as well. But 40-odd points, 40-plus points, that's a big ask.
I'm looking at these leaderboards, guys. I think we only have 2 slots left for top 7. I think it's all DRX. I think
Yeah.
Alpha 7 and above seem pretty locked in. Like, it's not 100%, but with the tendency we've been seeing so far from these teams, I think there's only 2 slots left, maybe 2.5. Maybe Alpha 7 could slip off if they get a terrible day here, Hodges.
Yeah.
But in Alpha 7, I don't think that's going to happen. So, man, those slots for the grand finals are going down every single game.
I would normally agree with you here, but I think with just how crazy this lobby is, I'm going to go with 4. Okay, that's just my opinion, right? I think R8 at 105 is that current cutoff. And the only reason being, Neptura, right, is just because of how crazy these pop-off games these teams can do, right? I mean, we could see D Xavier get a 20-point game right here, right? Who knows? So we've definitely seen that those leaderboards be really top-heavy by the team that's winning it.
Yeah, I think Ulf, you know, to name another team, Ulf that popped off in the last game. Not so much this game, they went out a little bit earlier, but they were still looking to have a good game. They just got cut off early. So, you know, there are a couple of teams here that I think are definitely trying to get to that spot, and I agree that maybe those 105, 103 points there, I think is just slightly still in the danger zone, but not by much.
Yeah, and the reason why it's not is because it's Alpha 7 and R8 that have it, right? We know they're going to put up some points for sure, but at the same time, it's like, hey, you can't let off the gas pedal just yet. Now, when it comes to Kara, right, and Thundertalk, those guys are big chilling here, Max Man. So since they have such a big point buffer, okay, I don't think they're going to be doing any kind of crazy hot drops or hunting teams, but what they can do, Max, is when they get into a fight, they can choose to make sure that that team suffers, right? They could be in a fight in a blue zone and be like, you know what, who cares? We don't need to win this game, right? And that could definitely change the dynamic here, right? So you think that's a big possibility here in these last few matches?
I think so, actually. That's a very interesting strategy you're bringing up, Hodges, because you could take a little bit more risk to make sure to flush out your opponent. Like, oh, we might be a little bit too aggro on this particular fight, but we're going to confirm 2 players that we knocked and making sure that the team doesn't come out comfortably out of this fight. They're going to be fully wounded from that engagement. I think that's actually a very good strat. So, yeah, Thundertalk, Kara in particular, have been doing it naturally throughout the entirety of the Gauntlet stage. So, if you can, why the hell not? Kara, Thundertalk, go ham in these fights. Let's go. I want to see absolute pure madness unfold on these matches.
Hey, let it ride, man. And I'll tell you what, right? We saw Kara do that right off the bat here in the first game. We got the second Aaron Gale match coming up, Neptura, okay?
Yes.
We need to see some big performances again, all right? I already put the nail in the coffin when it comes to EA, all right? Looking back at the leaderboards, honestly, Regnum Karia, I think, is in the danger zone here, right? What do you think these guys need to do different in order to possibly push themselves up here?
Win.
Yeah.
I think they had the right idea in this last Orangle. It was looking really, really good, but I think that the zone kind of messed them up. But if they just keep going how they have been going and maybe just be a little bit more aggressive towards DRX, you know, in that last game, if they had just been a little bit more proactive, they might have been able to do something a bit more there. So I'd just like to see a little bit more proactivity from them.
Yeah, I agree. I think that we need to see a lot of proactivity here, big time, from quite a few squads, right? Ulf did a pretty good, solid job in that first game of Rondo here, Max Man, you know?
Yeah.
That's going to definitely give him a lot of confidence here going into this next match of Aaron Gale, right? I think that momentum definitely pushes itself a little bit further, okay? But when it comes to Ulf, right, they have DRX. It's a 9-point difference. What kind of performance do you want to see from them here, right? I don't think they're desperate to go for a chicken dinner, but what do you want to see from them?
From which one? Ulf or DRX?
Ulf.
Both. I can get
Why not? Yeah, why not both? Yeah, honestly.
Both. Let's do it.
Yeah.
No, for Ulf, I want to see an echo of what we saw in game 1, because they were not just playing central position, but we know that is the typical Ulf gameplay we've been witnessing the entirety of this Gauntlet stage. But it's more of like a zoning gameplay style, and that was great on Rondo. I want to see more kind of play style like that. Can you do it in that previous Orangle? Really hot jukes? Unfortunately not, because headshot heals, west off school is just so hard to execute. But if they do find himself in a similar situation compared to the Rondo or even the matches they had in day 1, day 2, I want to see that similar playstyle where they just start zoning everyone away and getting high elimination top 3 finishes. That would make me very happy to see it. And DRX, good on their side, I would say just start playing the way they've been doing so far today. I think they definitely leveled up significantly. They're playing a lot more aggressive, which I like to see. This is a team that needs to use that fragging potential to its full potential then. So I would say DRX just keep playing the same way, and I think they should be able to make it maybe barely, but surely in top 7.
I don't think that's a bad shout, for sure. I mean, I think that consistency is definitely going to be key here. The big threat, I think, Neptura, is the fact that any one of these teams can bust out 20 points, right? I think if we see some of the squads right below DRX, I'm going to be talking about the Xavier OG. I think if they get a chicken dinner here in this next game, DRX definitely going to start having to step things up. What do you think?
100%, because I think Xavier and OG, both of those teams, if they get a win under their belts, they're going to run with it. We've seen it from them before. Xavier, they have bits and pieces. They have glimpses of the old Xavier we're used to seeing, and then they seem to go back into their shells again. And if they can just get a win, I feel like they would really be able to just shine. So for DRX, for Wolves as well, they've done well, but they just need to bring up like just another 10-20% if they want to keep up against those teams.
I want to see Xavier bring an extra 50%, and by that I mean not have only 2 players alive in the late game, which unfortunately has been a tendency we've been seeing throughout the entirety of today. That's really what's hurting Xavier, because I agree in the truth. Xavier can get big wins. We saw in the past, especially during the SEA region for the summer season, they were just dominating that entire battleground. But losing players early is a massive issue. Even just one player, Hodrick, I mean, we know you were a pro, right? You know losing one player. That's really going to hurt your chances of a potential chicken dinner. And it's the same for Alpha Gaming. Also losing players very, very early on in the match. Is that something you need to avoid? And currently, actually, I want to say a team that's been pretty decent at doing that is Orangutan. They keep players very early on alive. And then they get into the late game. Unfortunately, still, as you said, they got a bit more passive. But Orangutan have been doing that really well. So I want to see a bit more of that kind of playstyle from these teams that unfortunately do take very early casualties.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to OG, I'm going to be a little bit more harsh. That last game, they needed to make that push, right? I think they're doing an excellent job of getting to those late games, right? But at a certain point, Neptura, you have to flip on that aggression switch, right? Do you think the reason why they haven't done that yet is because of nerves or something else?
I think it might be nerves. It's definitely not skill, because what they're doing is they have their full squad, but they're playing like they're a solo or a duo. And they can't do that. They've got to unlock that next level and just go, hey, we're here, we're full squad, let's go for it.
Well, one of those 7 slots is right there for the taking, OG. Are you going to be able to grasp it? Only a few matches left to go. Let's go ahead and take it on over to John Allen Blake for the next Erangel match.
We are ready and raring to go for our second Erangel. The open fields proved that Geeke does sometimes have what it takes. The question is, who else is going to be able to step up this match? Because at the moment, it's not looking likely that Geeke are going to be able to go the full distance, even if they have a fantastic 5-match there.
No, but it looks good, right?
Yeah, it looks
nice.
Good for the nerves.
You're not going to be feeling terrible going into the group stages, at least. But talking about the cutoff right now, because we are heading into the halfway point. Like I said, after this game, I think things will start to solidify a little bit more. I think the guys on the desk are absolutely right that we are starting to get that point where people are getting locked in terms of not falling out. At least we had the idea it's like 105 to 110 points is the cutoff. Already some teams have achieved that. Some teams are nigh on achieving that. There is only a few teams left now where it's interchangeable.
So going to get a little bit more clear. You're right, the mists will start to lift on these overall rankings as to who is going to be in with the chance of getting one of those spots. We've already got 2 or 3 teams who are looking pretty set to be able to get forwards. I'm talking about Kara, I'm talking about Thunder Talk, I'm talking about Mad Bulls as well after that game that they just saw. Jumping up over the 110-point boundary. More teams will start to move in. The east side circle comes on through on a west side lane path, so TPO need to migrate out to that east side.
It's a very far rotate as well for a lot of our squads, considering we are on that western playing path. So a lot of that eastern area should be a little bit more clear. But for teams that like to play those areas like Alpha 7, it's a difficult rotate to make. With Thunder Talk already in this position, Geekade taking up residence over towards Yasnaya, they'll have to be a little bit more cautious of it. Kara actually gets the most room to play with down towards Farm and Milta, so they can kind of have the pick of the litter of where they want to play on that one. Again, not always the most comfortable area of the map to play. I personally really don't enjoy playing Shelter at all. I think that it's such an uncomfortable area of the map to work with, and I think most players would agree with that. But again, most of these positions are difficult to work with. Again, I think it's going to be speed, alacrity required in these coming moments, just because if we do head over towards that northeast side, you're going to have Mansion, particularly a very, very strong position to play in. Also, you have Heaven that you can head over towards too. So those areas with this western play path, you're going to be quick to get towards them. But you have a little bit of time now before we do hit stage 2.
Yeah, we are going to still be in with a couple of minutes before that boundary is crossed. Thunder Talk up in the north side all the way in Stalber. They have had a bit of a slowdown. Let's see if they can keep things up towards the finals, or we're very likely going to see them. OG, they had a good chance in that last game at the north side of their compound, right? It was unfortunate that Ulf broke that, and then Geekade in turn stopped them from getting out. We heard from them a little bit before, with 7 up on the stage.
Welcome to a quick report with the 7WG. I don't have any players with me, but I do have some information. Earlier in the day, I got to talk to Aro from OG, and I asked him, what is the expected benchmark that you have to hit every single match? He said between 6 to 7 points. So far, especially after the performance they just had, they're averaging 6 points. Let's see if they can keep it up and maybe get a little bit closer towards that top 7.
6 or 7 points a match, that sounds like not a lot, right? But it is actually quite difficult to be able to get that. Very few teams in the lobby will be able to find that sort of a metric. To put that in context, 6 points a match gives you 108 points total on the set, right, on 18 matches, which is, as you can see, pretty difficult to achieve. Not many teams have passed that boundary.
Yeah, and that's on the low end of the prediction as well, coming through from Ari, so it is difficult. But I think he's kind of on the money there with it as well, 67 points. And if that's the game plan right now for OG, they could still hit that, but not with those point scorings. They'd still need a bigger game. It's not a gigantic game they need, but they do need another large game for them today. They do get over towards the Povka very quickly, which is nice.
Yeah, this game is that chance, right? That big spread out, like you said, to that east side. They've got very, very central control. The question is the regroup. If they can make that work successfully, then they're going to be in a really good spot to try and convert into points this match. But they do still have to go for that regroup. And with teams like Retham Kaya in your north, I mean, even though they are down in 12th place, right, they still have got some firepower to them. And we'll see just what they're able to do on that position out to the south of the gas fields.
Alpha 7 still playing on that northwest side right now, alongside with R8. Both teams, neck and neck right now. A lot of times neck and neck in terms of the drop spots as well on the map. So finding some equal success on that side of things. It is kind of funny, like two teams that drop so close to one another multiple times with many similar rotations have ended up 2 points apart on the tables.
That is really not ideal to be rotating directly next to your table competitor. It just adds to the nerves. I mean, logistically, it's the same as rotating next to another team, but it's got to feel a little bit more nerve-wracking when you know that one misstep on your part gives them points, takes your point potential away as well. And when you're neck and neck, that is not what you want to be seeing. DRX right now, they've kind of had their ups and downs over the course of this gauntlet so far, but they are in 7th place right now.
I think that when we look back on what the desk had to say, I think it's very, very clear why they chose both of these teams in 6th and 7th place, as saying they're the most interchangeable. It's purely because of the tendencies that they've brought to the table. throughout the entirety of this tournament. And DRX, like you say, inconsistent. I would say Wolves is similar on that boat of inconsistent. Yes, they've put up big points here and there. A lot of those points did come through from Rondo just today. And I think that for both Wolves and DRX, it is not the similar case of R8 and Alpha 7, where both these teams are punching up those points every single game, right? There is a little bit here and there. They are consistently getting those numbers on the board. For DRX, it has felt like a bit of a struggle. For Wolves, it's felt like a bit of a struggle, right? Sometimes the pickaxe is just flinging off the rock and stone that they're trying to break through, whereas for R8 and Alpha 7, you know, there's steady hands. There's steady hands there.
It's time-tested. Nerves. You'd hope of steel. Oh, actually cuts across Doran. Oh my goodness me. That's got to feel pretty nasty for the Wolves. In 6th place, 91 points, the more secure of the two volatility teams, but not losing a player that early to APG is not going to feel good. They'll have to learn to deal with it, unfortunately, because there's nothing really they can do about it.
No, and I mean, that's the second time in a row now we've seen here on Erangel. The Wolves lose one player super early in the match. Again, though, that's silence and a 3x M4. At that distance, a bit of a bucking Bronco in terms of a weapon. The fact that he hits those shots so cleanly is again a testament to Zol's experience in the game over the multiple years and the multiple achievements he's been able to garner. Yeah, well played, very well played. But for Wolves, that's got to stop. I mean, it's the same rotate again. It's the same positioning over towards gas station. You can't have that keep happening, especially if they want to stay in top 7.
Next circle coming on through in a couple of seconds as well, as our teams have moved central, but it just sends all the way back to the west side. We're looking to go to a not dissimilar part of the map, but around that east edge of Potato Hill, on those divots that currently we just saw Ulf taking up one of them right around that road junction. Is going to be a major feature moving forwards of this game, and Virtus Pro probably one of the slower teams to be able to make it in. They're further away than most. We'll see what they can do. DRX, they were pretty quick on the trigger here, and actually they're happy to play all the way down south on this building.
You kind of want to take both sides of this, though, and I think DRX has enough time to do it in. So they're confirming on both positions, but the anchor point has been found. No players there, so DRX is like, well, sure, I guess we'll pick this up. We've got OG over on their north side, though, who are trying to clear a similar area. See Aru wrapping around the side. UXZ very close to him, but the shots aren't ringing out just yet.
Not for the time being. OG, not going to be able to do more than just send them down into the bunkers. Not for the time being. Regnum Kaya, this is a nice dip for them. I mean, Ulf were sort of held up in this area, but they've moved on further south, away from here, across the road. They've managed to find a little bit of a stronghold there. Sorry, not quite across the road, just a little bit short of it. A little bit further up in their next dip.
I mean, playing dip here is okay, right? It's a position to work with. It's slightly open. You will need smokes at some point, but at stage 2 of the game, absolutely fair place to play for Regnum Kaya. Gives them options going into the late game. And again, there's not a fantastical amount of insanely strong areas to play towards the center of this circle. So I think for Regnum Kaya, like, that is a good spot to be working with going forward. They just hope they don't have a GK situation from the last game where they get rolled upon and just absolutely smoked. But in the meantime, I think most teams will be waiting for stage 3 to pop on this one. It does move away from shelter, so we are towards those winding roads. GK currently just playing it safe on that north side. Thundertalk coming out from Yasnaya on that early end of things. I think that has been a bit of a problem for Thundertalk over today's games, and maybe even yesterday, is a little bit of a slower approach on this north side. A lot of times they stop off in South Yaz for a long time, and I think they're realizing it's not working anymore, so they push out much earlier across the field.
I mean, the thing that we praised Thundertalk for at the end of day 1 and towards the start of day 2 as well is that coordinated play. Their basics, their fundamentals were just better than everyone else in the lobby at that point. When you talk about team play, it seems like a few other teams have caught up, and at the moment they are flagging. So corrections now necessary for Thundertalk. So it's good to see that they are making those adjustments, not just resting on their laurels, and moving in to try and make sure that they fully deserve their spot in the finals, which they are almost guaranteed to find here. Alpha 7 all the way out on the east, still just about skirting prison. They're actually making a move further up here. They don't want to stay in that dip. They want to get a little bit further down.
Yeah, I mean, being on that low ground now isn't effective. It was good as a stop-off point, and if the circle moved over towards the northeast side, fantastic. But at this point in time, you're quite close to the circle anyway. You should have had some scouting available to you, so they're just going to rotate during that time to get into a better spot here. Annoyingly for a lot of teams, that lovely compound that sits to the western hillside of Farm, he's cut out. So teams can't really play off the back of that one. E-Arena, though, is going to take control of Paseo Hill, and Regular Kai is going to sit just underneath it.
Hylas looks for the spray towards Prestige. Doesn't connect, but we'll give the info away. DRX playing close by as well on the entrance that we saw them being able to get to before. Nade over the top. Continue to bobble on in. Damage just ticking away on both of these teams, but no blood being spilt just yet. So Reckon Kai seem to be solidifying now in their hold.
You get to a point here where I feel like both teams, you don't really want to fight each other all that much. I mean, there's no reason to, because DRX doesn't want to give up that position. Reckon Kai doesn't want to give up theirs either. And both are relatively safe. Obviously, Regnum Kai is slightly more painful to play because it's a bit more open and DRX is going to have to expend smokes. But this is definitely a case of a bit of a more neighborly love from both squads.
Certainly might be favourable. The question is, will they be able to bear that pressure? Obviously flexing out wide in the middle of the circle for Reckon Kaya. Because Alpha 7, they drew short onto one of the entrances to shelter. OG were surrounding it before. They divert, they want to get into the circle, and they will line that edge. Trying to stop Alpha 7 from going through, but they will thrust the tip of the spear. Revel moves on in now. WizGod and Atanki have to hold strong. They're playing around the hill, around the mouth here. The nades are good. WizGod, they spotted him. Rio knows about it now. We'll be able to hear it. The WizGod's quick on the trigger with a pump action. A nade put in through the window, though, is going to make it all harder. The Aru has to step in, and 3 players from Alpha 7 crumble in the face of the hold here from OG. Another player now sends out wide. Obscure, the last for Alpha 7, and he's on the hunt. AKOP over the top, has got the shotty as well as the blue zone to push Obscure out of the zone. It's only stage 3, not the hugest. AKOP though takes damage from the zone, and GSR on the north, maybe a third party.
Yeah, I mean, GS coming over towards this one, they can definitely see that there's a fight taking place right now. And with OG taking another knock on the cards, GS should be able to finish this up. Already they're sending a player out to try and survive longer inside the zone, but quickly cut off in the meantime. So they are locked in now versus GS. But it's only 2 players right now from GS that are playing this position, hoping to just hold these players out. I don't know why Amir pulled off that spot. He just saw a player.
Good, trying to send on through, and actually might be able to make it now, but it will send over towards Kara and Virtus Pro as well. Don't think that he's going to be able to make that one work. He sends up 2 players from Virtus Pro hop out and down. Alpha 7 fall 5th place, 103. I mean, they're not fully secure yet, but they've still got a couple more games to play here. 16th place, 0 elims, a fight with OG that they lose there is not going to be a sweet taste on the tongue.
No, I think that's the team that hasn't quite made it yet. I mean, 103 is great, but is it super secure? No. Thundertalk up against Geekay, a fairly consistent squad wipe, but not before E-Arena starts to swing down the hill, looking over towards Thundertalk. The Gladiators do arrive. Tony K back in the hovercraft, looking to move away as Thundertalk gets swept up. Only 2 players left now for the team. E-Arena able to profit a little bit off the back of that one with 2 points.
I think the major profit that they'll find is actually the lack of teams in their area anymore. They can move along Potato Hill, move a little bit closer towards Regnum Kaya, and really take control of this western side of the circle. The rotation after may be a little bit trickier. With R8 to the north, with Wolves to the south, Regnum Kaya to the front, it's not too many options from that point onwards.
Yes, taking down OG as they attempt to make their way through. Alpha 7 really slowed them down there. For OG, it looks like they are just ticking away. They still have 1 final player up, but it's between him, Kara, Virtus Pro, as well as GS. It's very unlikely that he makes his way out of the blue here.
R8. This could have been their game. OG had the drop. They had the circle on their side, but that shift back to the west has been treacherous for them. They're able to handle Alpha 7, but GS really playing spoiler to the approach on the northern edge. And GS will make out over towards DX. And now in the crash goes. Jafar sending straight to the middle. Immediately Paragin puts him down. No threat now, so it's a single front fight. The nade finds Amir as well, and that is a brilliant start to the hold as Levi's turns the corner, and GS are sent spinning here as they try and approach the Xavier's hold. The Xavier, we criticize them for not being able to hold super strong, but maybe that's going to change. Hang on a minute. Ooh, I might have to eat my words because there's already a lot of danger being felt. One player gets knocked and flushed there. The Xavier losing one, but they do stay alive.
I mean, you hold versus the push. That means a lot less players on this northeast side for you. Mad Bulls just finished an engagement and now looking to push down as well. I think they must have heard this, so they are instantly trying to get players back up and healthy so they can try and capitalize off the back of an engagement that just took place. There is a player that only just got picked back up again. That's Atanki going down to the play zone off in the distance. Nade's been sent down from Ulf as well as APG towards VP's position. It was a spot that can be played, but it's also a spot that both teams from APG as well as Ulf understood that likely teams are going to go for.
Oh, yeah, that nade, the double knock there coming through for the Mad Bulls, leaving just the one player now for DXavia on the ground floor. Third party, maybe. Shots sent in across the way. Is that R8? Is that Ulf? I'm not entirely sure, but they've already done so much work. It's just Lamborn now for DXavia on the inside. R8 are close by. Amori has moved into position on that north flank. Look at how much he wants to get stuck into this fight. Maybe take a player down, maybe give themselves an opening, because R8 do still have to move.
I mean, R8 could have an equally similar rotate to Mad Bulls here. I think the difficulty for them is Mad Bulls really hasn't taken too much damage off the back of this. Get the res up over towards Paragin, and Mad Bulls just lets it happen. Still 3 nades to work with. 2 nade goes over towards the top window. Paragin's able to dodge that one, so he's able to get that first aid kit off, which is pretty massive for them, getting 2 players back into the fight. But Lemon once again so good with the nades.
He's got 2 more still to play with. Nade out through the door. Looks for the challenge. He's got to hold his nerve, though. Not go for the peak. It's Scarface, though, who spots him hopping out the window. Does not allow the exit, and that is DXavia with 3 right towards that bubble. That's great news for the teams looking to try and chase up towards it. I feel like Redmond Kaya may be on for a bit of a mad one here if they can capitalize on the west side position. Push up with Amori, though, knocking on the door. Mad Bulls now have another challenge.
For R8 is a much more difficult fight in terms of the health pools available to Mad Bulls, but already done a hell of a lot of damage. They need to keep these nades coming so those first aid kits can't keep being applied to the players and getting them back up and healthy. This is good chip damage so far from R8. Just wondering when they're going to pull the trigger on this one. There's no more third parties in this area. It has been a constant fight for this location.
Kara approaching to the rest of Ulf drew Scarface away, so they are now fighting on that south side, which means you're right, this is going to be a fairly clean fight. Unless that fight on the south side concludes, you can see off in the distance, and things could get a little bit more messy, but wait for the time being. Mark still on that off angle on the outside. Lemon knows exactly what he's playing up against. Not really able to do too much about it right now.
They have to take trust of Scarface again. God, this guy is frustrating to play against. Insanely good when it comes to those long-range shots, and even more shots going down over towards R8. He's just making sure both these teams are battered and bruised by the time they leave this building. Right now, R8 definitely has the advantage because they're playing with a 3-story at their backside as well. So if it came down to it where Mad Bulls are able to get a single knock over towards them, they can always start dodging nades in the 3-story. Loxy, though, finding some shots over towards Sakura. and Murray on the sidelines finds a great shot towards Mad Bulls there, opening up the doorways for the rest of R8 to start flowing through. This isn't before Scarface once again tells Mark that you can't be stepping out on the outside.
There's a big fight happening on the west side as well, Blank, in the picture-in-picture. It's Regnum Kaya fending off the push from the arena. It looked like Regnum Kaya might have had a good time of it, but tried to lose a player or 2. Pusher on the inside here now, though, as we go into the kitchen. Looking to try and cook up a meal, but it's not going to happen. It's cold as a bone. and R8 will be taking them on down. Marth is the loss that they have to suffer, but that Scarface is doing. In the meantime, Red and Kaya able to survive just a little bit longer, but they need a res. They need something else to happen as the Wolves are starting to push on up and fight against DRX on their south border.
Again, this is good for the Wolves. They needed another strong game here. They couldn't keep just getting those small ones and then hope for a big game to come in the future. Getting those placement points would be very nice. They start to push over towards DRX. The lovely shot from QXZ will pin them down for the time being. An APG off in the distance as well is an ever-looming threat for the Wolves.
And Kaya have managed to get themselves back up now. They could peek in here. The off angle, the outpost for DRX is their end goal. But Knights, they're out in the open, but they've got to deal with troops first. They'll do it. They'll look for more as well. They will find everything they're looking for. The Wolves start to fall, and they will continue to tumble. 7th place, no elims there. Not able to keep things going. For DRX, this is great news.
Okay.
That 7th place bubble, they're looking to solidify themselves. But Rectum Kaya, they want to extract points from this region. 5 elims found, and they want more as they move on in from that western edge.
Oh my god, the tracking on that was crazy. Royal Mail first class. That is some amazing shots there. The quick resets time and time again. I think Regum Kai didn't realize what's hitting him. I'll be calling hacks at that point, to be honest with you. But Rectum Kai will get to play on as two.
Eliminated as well. In the meantime, on the southeast side, that was Ulf's doing. Ulf as well on that big chase for the bubble. The fact that the Wolves are down, the Alpha 7 are down, gives them a little bit of hope, but there's a knock coming through both for DRX and for Ulf. Rectum Kaya have managed to move in, but they're playing 2 solos right now with Loxy and Zedwolf still alive on that northwest side. DRX really now penned in. Kaise can't do a thing about it.
Yeah, I think for DRX, they are going to struggle to get out from this position. The saving grace is that Zol basically has no ammo. He's been shooting everyone in the lobby right now. We'll push a little further up here to get some information off the back of it. Doc will pick a player out the back of the buggy, immediately steps back down again. Again, this is where I want to see Doc respect this angle a little bit more. Needs to potentially leave. This could be a decent Molotov. There's no smoke blocking the window either, so he has a clear sight line towards it.
Some slivers of HP. And Jundin goes down to Reefus. APG. It's been engaged the lobby now. 2 players to DRX with only the one on this outpost. Remember, they've still got that central player. Wolf did get knocked and flushed there, leaving just Loxy for Rectum Kaya on that north side. There's that knock over towards DRX. They're not getting him back up. The question is points. 5 teams remain now blank. What can teams extract from here? Loxy in the picture-in-picture, fighting for his life against Amori. One of the 2 players remaining for R8.
Again, for APG there, Doc gets shot at by Aaron on that angle. Where was the comms across the top in which how he should have rotated back towards the team? Doc knew that angle was available. I just don't think Top was told about it. Because otherwise there's no way he would have made that aggressive pushback that way. I'm not sure. I couldn't give you the specifics, but it's just frustrating to watch that. I mean, we just talked about it. But now APG down to just 3 players. But first in a while, we've seen them in a top 4 here. To go a little bit further beyond, but it is Ulf who's controlling the hillside along with the shack. Ulf looking to jump up the tables.
They've got 12 elims already blank this match. They're trying to convert off a really strong rondo as well. Get themselves up into that top 7. I think they'll be able to do it off this match. The question is how far and how secure will they feel? Moving in to the later parts of today, we're going to be getting across the halfway line of the day after this match. So going into the final 3, it's going to feel good being in the top 7. But that buffer, building more and more on top of it. That's what teams are looking to do now. DRX, their last player. He's bearing down upon him. Mori keeping his head down. I feel bad for DRX.
I mean, for R8 as well, even if they get 3rd place here, it's not a huge amount of eliminations, but that should see them safe. Aaron finding Reefus, 13 elims on the game, another massive match for them. Up to top 3 for R8 certainly sees them making it through here in the top 7, I would say, at this point in time. Now Ulf looks to readdress the circle. R8 still slinging on both sides here, and Murray and Prestige playing both corners.
group, though. An immediate send back in. No, hang on a minute. They're diverting it once more. They can't make up their minds. I mean, they're just getting that scouting info. They know nobody's pushing north just yet. APG and Ulf holding each other in a stalemate on this big flat plateau that sits in the middle. The nade is good for Momori, and that catches Yol. Alpha Gaming getting rid of that roadblock for Ulf might actually allow them to push across more effectively. R8 may just unwittingly spelled their own demise.
But you take a second place, though. Let's see how far they can go off the back of it. Again, they control the entirety of the northern edge. Aaron picks up another for his troubles and now sees Doc as well. That's 15 Elims. They can just clear out the last two players from R8. It will be a 27-point game, which will shoot them soaring towards the top of the tables here, John.
It'll be over that 100-point mark if they're able to do it, Blank, I think. Very, very close. It might just be short, but that is an incredible resurgence for Ulf in the two big games that they've had today. And it just goes to show you how close these tables have always been.
I think the best thing about it is just watching Ulf play their game, right? Aaron with these great angles that he's got towards players and taking one-on-one fights with some of the best players in the squad. And Scarface on those incredibly long angles, causing casualties towards teams that might have assaulted them later in the game. It's just nice to see Ulf finding their rhythm.
Absolutely. And a second Turkish team being in the top 7 would be quite an impressive feat. Bit disappointing to not see Rekt and Kaya up there with them. With a lackluster performance so far, they weren't able to convert on this game, but there's an answer. Amori doesn't want them to go any further, draws a line in the sand, but he has to pull it back as the warpath is being driven right now. Aaron in the passenger seat, slinging them around the hilltops, but he's going to be pulled out the side. Ketch still sending off across the way, and now they've left themselves in a 1v2 Blank. Ketch has it all to do. He's got 2 nades. He's going to have to try and make them work. Not quite reaching the tree there. Amori low on the HP and prestige, and Amori with a big chance for RA.
A massive ego challenge in the vehicle made little to no sense at the time. After Scarface went down, they could play this out a little bit slower. No utility on the side of R8 right now, other than one stun grenade. But for one player, that might just be enough. R8 continues to take momentum here, picking up strong position
coming through from R8. Ulf looked like they had that in the bag. They were on a tear. They had the numbers. But they hop into that convertible, and they got too big for their boots, Blank.
I don't know what that was. I mean, there's some giant's feet on those boots because they weren't fitting, that's all. I don't know what Ulf was thinking of that scenario. I mean, that does get them a lot of points, but it's not the 27-point game they were going for. They lost out on 2 Elims as well off the back of that. That's even worse for wear. But R8, though, a game that would see them sort of safe, now sees them very safe.
They are going to feel pretty good about that one. A 6-point swing on the reverse side. What we were expecting, that 27, down now towards that 21 point, which is not a small game by any stretch of the imagination. Still, it's going to feel a little bit galling coming through from Ulf. They were not able to find it. In the end, it was R8 to sneak it away right from under their noses.
Ulf have the craziest game right at the right time, but then they go for the most bold drive play towards the end. And if they would have had an S12K, it would have worked, okay? But they didn't have it, and they were taken out by R8. R8 get the chicken dinner in this one, Max. And with this chicken, I mean, that's got to lock in their position, right?
Yeah, I mean, you said there were 4 positions possibly remaining in top 7, Hodjukes. I think it's now just 3 remaining. It's dwindling. Every single map, got really good stuff coming up from R8. And that was all off the back, by the way, of that successful northern fight against Mad Bulls. They're able to clear off that position. And then all the other teams are fighting for the high ground positions. And R8 are just left alone to survive, make it easily into the later stages, even though they do lose some players a little bit early on this match, such as Ida and Marth, Prestige, Amori. That was more than enough, Niptra, to wrap up this paramount game that they desperately needed to be in the finals. And with this game, I'm going to say it, they're 100% in for the biggest stage of this year's PMGC.
I 100% agree. They are in, they are ready to go, and you could see them celebrating that fact as well right after the game, because they know as well they have gotten in, they are safe, they are good to go. Because this is exactly what they needed, right? Because so far today they've been looking a little bit, uncertain. So this win just really cementing that, and just being a breath of fresh air and just like, okay, we can relax now is really, really good for them. But I've got to say, Max, Ulf coming in hot. Just missing out on the win, but man, the points they're racking up today is insane.
You know what? If we don't see Ulf get a win, but they get these high elimination counts compared to what we saw day one, I'm fine with this. I'm
right?
Like, it's going to be enough for Jukes to push them up in top 7. So you know what? Would it be nice to see them actually get the win? Yes, but this is currently more than enough to keep them in the conversation and make it work out. So you know what, Ulf? Keep it going. This is the right change of pace that we needed to see. And you know what? They're striking while the iron is hot on day 3.
Needed. That is the right word. By the way, those headshots from Joel were just absolutely insane. We're definitely going to touch on that OG Alpha 7 push. I think that was really interesting, but I want to just really harp on Ulf, man. Ulf in this day, right? On the final day, they were in 13th place, right? At the start of the day here. With this performance, Max, I think that just might have put them especially in contention for one of those 7 spots.
I'm going to go even further. When you look at day 1 and day 2 combined, their highest elimination game was 6, right? That was their best performance. Today, they already got a 14 elimination game on Rondo and now a 15 elimination game on this last Erangel match. Combined, they're completely out, eclipsing even, I would say, their day 1, day 2 performances in day 3 alone. And Niptura right now, is this more in line with what you expected from Ulf? Because for me, that is definitely the case.
Oh, 110%, right? We've known these guys for years. We know what they can do. 110, yes, I'm certain I'm going over 100% on this. Because, yes, we knew that their gameplay was a little bit more passive this time around than a few years ago, but I didn't expect to see the first and second day performances come out of them. This is much more like it. I'm so happy that they've adjusted.
Oh my goodness. Look at the pop off there from RA. Yeah, because they have locked it in. We're going to see them in the finals. But let's take a look at these rotations, Max, man. And look at that. Alpha Gaming all the way down there in military base, making that travel on over to the east.
Yeah, this is the 8-man Turkish rotation from Ulf and Regnum. Like, you know what? We're homies from the same region. Let's move in similar rotation path and see how it's going to work out. Of course, they're going to be pretty accustomed to as they played against each other going into PMSL Europe earlier this year. From the southern side, right, Niptura going in. And finally, we were talking about it this entire game. It's not just a good rotation. They avoid early skirmishes to keep 4 players alive until the very later stage to actually have an opportunity to go for the win. Sure, they don't quite secure it, but this makes me at least more hopeful that APG can initiate that comeback because, again, no early casualties happened here on this Erangel game.
Yeah, it was so nice. I mean, we saw some nades being thrown over to VP earlier on in the game, but still no full send, just trying to, pick up an elimination here or there maybe, but really it's all about control. And it was really, really nice to see this different side to APG, the one that we're used to seeing, and it gets them 11 points. Is it enough? No. But is it a start? Yes.
Oh, man. Honestly, that start needed to happen a few games ago. They are really far behind, So, but it's good to see them make it towards the end game. And not to mention, Zol had those crazy headshots. First onto Doran, right? By the way, Wolves, back-to-back donuts. What? I mean, actually, they got 1 placement point. Okay, right? So it's not a back-to-back 0-point games. We'll take that. But, I mean, come on, Max, right? They win Rondo and then 0-point game, 1-point game. And now we're seeing teams pop off. I mean, these leaderboards are getting real scary.
I couldn't even tell you what went wrong this game because I didn't even see them do anything this match. For me, they just disappeared in like a puff of smoke. Unfortunately, the very early end for the side of Wolves. By the way, congrats to Mori that, again, just keeps standing out as the MVP contender of the entirety of R8. That I said it also on day 1. Normally, we see him more as a setup or angle player, but no, he keeps on performing. Very happy with Amori in particular here, Niptra. He just keeps putting up the numbers and helping them secure, again, their position in the top 7 as they now climb in 3rd position just behind Thunder Talk. R8, again, locked in. We're going to have a MENA team here for the grand finals.
Yeah, there is no way they drop down now. With just 3 games left, they are set. Mapples as well, picking up the pace here in the last day to just keep ahead of the rest of the lobby. So some really, really nice stuff going in here, Jukes.
I mean, this is absolutely crazy. You can just see those leaderboards. Ulf making it into that top 7 position all the way from 13th place. But man, we got a whole bunch more action to go here in just a minute, guys. We'll be right back after this short break.
Racing experience. Wow, racing maps await you. The new racing template is online. Create your racetrack gameplay. Navigate the forest racetrack. Unleash your racing passion.